Hi, this is Skip Bayless, and thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I just posted a personal story on my Facebook page. If you want to know what I'm really all about, what makes me tick, what made me me, you should read what I wrote about my upbringing. You should read about how I succeeded in spite of a mean-spirited drunk of a father and a mother who was too interested in herself to ever be much interested in me. You should read about my athletic achievements and my chokes. You'll find my story on my Facebook page. And now, let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft, here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Morning, guys.
You know, Tom Brady just will not leave Shannon Sharpe alone. He just torments him day after day after day. You have bad dreams about Tom Brady, that nerdy, corny Tom Brady.
That cockroach, he just will not go away.
Not go away.
How do you feel about that?
And you know what
Back
happened?
again, and I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a roach problem when you were growing up, but you know they only come out when company come around.
Really?
It embarrass you.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's playoff times, and now he wanted to come out and do all this talking.
My roaches came out in my apartment in New York when I was there by myself.
Nah,
I don't know.
they
just tormented
They
me.
wait till people come around like,
Yeah.
you pretend you to go see them.
Oh,
You're like,
okay.
I see that roach. Till I don't
Big
see
old roach.
it. I can do it, Skip.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That big old roach up in Foxborough,
Whatever.
he's still eating, right?
Yeah. Got something for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Here we go.
are going to get to
I'm gonna
Tom
be nice to
Brady,
Tom.
but we're also going to talk about Shannon's Lakers. Are they in trouble without LeBron? And then Skip's guy, Baker Mayfield, does he need to like tone it down just a tad bit? I mean, we'll see.
Nope.
We'll see. But let's start with that guy in Foxborough. His Patriots are 10-5 and still have a shot at home field throughout the playoffs. But there are questions about his future. Tom Brady is 41 years old. He has a rumored knee injury, and his stats have been un-Brady-like this season. In addition to that, some NFL insiders predicted on ESPN.com that the Patriots will take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds of next year's draft. This week, Brady was asked if he'll definitely play next year, and let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I absolutely believe I will. I know I've talked about it for a long time. You know, I have goals to play not only next year, but beyond that, and I'm going to try to do it as best I possibly can. I'm going to give it everything I have, like I always have. It'll certainly be a challenge. I don't take any of these things for granted, but I hope I can keep playing. I hope I can keep playing at a championship level. I'm feeling really good, Jim. It's been 15 weeks of football, and there's always bumps and bruises you deal with, but I'm feeling great for this time of year. I'll take it every year to be feeling as good as I am at this time in the season.
Shannon, how much longer will Brady play?
I believe he plays one more year in New England. Now, I believe if he's going to play longer than that,
Oh,
one or
so
two
a little caveat
No.
here. Aha.
No. One or two things need to happen if he wants to extend it beyond that. And that is Coach Belichick leaves. Because I believe over the last 2 years, these guys have been fighting who deserves, who gets the most of the credit. And I think each guy is trying to wait the other guy out, Skip Bayless.
That is true.
Because we had the same dilemma with Joe Montana and Coach Walsh.
Yep.
Coach Walsh retires. Joe wins another one without him. Well, okay, now he gets all the credit. Even though Bill Walsh's system, Coach Walsh, was very innovative, the short passing game, the West Coast offense, and we see a lot of hybrids offenses off of that. But once Joe won that Super Bowl without him, he got the lion's share of the credit. The other guy knows whomever were to win a title without the other will get the lion's share of the credit. Skip, and the thing is that when we look at Tom Brady, he's been great for such a long time. And then we hold him to that standard. And that's what happens as you start to age. You no longer play at the standard in which you set for yourself. You look at his last 8 games. He's 22nd in completion percentage. He's tied for 21st in touchdowns with 9. We see him starting to flinch. We see him starting to duck away from that contact, throwing the ball in the pocket. Because the platform in which he throws from, Skip, he can shuffle, a little slide to the left, a little slide to the right by himself in time. But what we're starting to see He's not willing to stand in the 405 skip doing rush hour and play chicken. He no longer wants to do that.
I would stand in the 405 in rush hour because it's not moving. You can just stand still, right?
No.
I mean, nobody's even bothering you. You could just sort of waltz between
Get the
the cars.
HOV lane. Get the HOV lane. That's what you should
okay.
do. But anyway, Skip, look, Coach, what Tom Brady now, this is unusual for a Patriot player because here's the thing. They don't normally talk about the opponent after the opponent that they're playing. We're on to Cincinnati. They didn't talk about who they were playing after Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Not only is Tom Brady bypassing the playoffs, maybe he mentioned something early on about the playoffs, but he's talking about years down the road. Since when do New England Patriots players do that, Skip? Is that normal for them? Now, he's already said this a year ago, 2 years ago. Normally, I'll refer you back to the comments I've already made on this subject, Jim. I like to talk about what's going to transpire in the playoffs or this last game, which I'm getting ready for.
Yep.
But what Tom Brady is trying to do, he's trying to elicit a fan support. Because he knows it's going to come down to this, Skip Bayless. Coach Belichick is going to have to make a very difficult decision. And all great coaches, when you coach an all-time great player, you see what happened with Bruce Smith in Buffalo, Emmitt Smith in Dallas. They wanted to extend their careers. They had to extend them elsewhere. You look at what happened with Joe Montana. He wanted to play more. He had to extend his career in Kansas City. I believe that same thing is going to befall Tom Brady if he wants to extend his career beyond 20. I do not believe he plays 21st year in New England, which will be very interesting because I believe Coach Belichick is trying to wait him out and to win a championship without Tom Brady. I believe Tom Brady is trying to wait Coach Belichick out to win a championship. Coach Belichick had his ducks in a row, Skip. He had a plan B, literally. But somebody went upstairs to their unofficial dad. He tried to get rid of me, Dad. Can you do something about this? And Mr. Kraft put his foot down.
And then what did that whiny baby do after he went upstairs? He won the MVP and made Belichick look like a fool.
No, he didn't.
Like a fool.
How did he make him look like a fool?
He won the MVP.
So what?
He threw for 505 in the Super Bowl.
Are we here to say that Jimmy Garoppolo could not have had the same success?
I'm here to say that.
How do you know?
Well, I don't, but I'm just saying that's hard, man.
Okay. No.
To win the MVP and break the all-time playoff record for yards thrown in any game, and it happened to be in the Super Bowl, that's hard, man.
But what did he get? Where did he come with?
Thanks to Bill Belichick. Thanks to the Belichick blunder.
When things go good, it's all Tom Brady. The moment it goes bad, he doesn't have any help. Coach Belichick's defense let him down. Have you
been watching Malcolm Butler lately for Tennessee? He's playing at a high. He looks like a Pro Bowler.
I watched him early in the year when he got benched.
He struggled.
Okay.
But then now he looks like he's the old guy who didn't get to play a snap.
Skip,
Super Bowl,
not
a snap.
We're not rehabbing revisionist history.
Oh, snap. Yeah.
Okay, oh, snap.
Yeah, right. You finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. Good. My turn. Okay. So these comments were stunning to me because these were the best, the most emotional and enlightening comments on this subject that I have seen from Tom Brady so far. And I don't believe they were intended for fan support. I think they were earmarked for, number one, Bill Belichick.
Of course.
I just want to remind him. And number two, for all the critics led by the president of the Tom Brady Haters Club, Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer. He wanted Shannon to hear exactly what propels him forward and what his plan is. And again, this has been a long-running battle between me and you since our first year here on Undisputed back in 2016. Yep. And you predicted the first year that this year would be the last year for Tom Brady. Yep. So he did prove you wrong on that account, and he is preparing to prove you wrong again and again and again, according to him yesterday.
I didn't know he was going to go upstairs and cry to Mr. Kraft about getting rid of Jimmy G.
Well, I think he's got the cachet. I think he's earned the right to do that. Wouldn't you, after 5
You don't
Super
think Coach
Bowls?
Belichick has earned the right to get rid of players as he sees fit?
Well, we disagree on that because I believe this is 75% Tom Brady and 25% Belichick. That's what's happened in this New England dynasty. But the point about yesterday that was very interesting that you should note about Tom Brady was he's not waiting until it's over this year to do the typical veteran I need to take some time off. I need to take a month with my wife and kids and see how we all feel about me playing next year. He's not doing that.
He can't.
Why not?
Coach Belichick will get that thing up on my butt. He can't pull a Brett Favre where you waffle here and there because he know Coach Belichick.
Well, this is the opposite of waffling because he's just laying it right on the line with a game to go in the regular season before the playoffs start. He is flat out laying it on the line. I absolutely believe I will play next year, and then he doesn't stop there. I have goals to not only play next year, but beyond that. So he's standing right by what he said. He's going to play until he's 45. He's going to make you eat more crow and more crow and more crow. I don't know that. I've said it from the start. I don't bet against this guy.
In the article, what did Coach Belichick say?
Nothing.
Hey, Coach Belichick says, I ain't worried about next year or the year after that. Let's talk about the Jets. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, I don't really care about Coach Belichick.
Wow!
So here's the point, that these quotes were so enlightening. This is what I think sticks in your craw about Tom Brady. He's trying to explain to you what motivates him toward his 20th year in pro football. He says that I've been so lucky to play the game I love for 19 years. I wake up every day excited to go to work. What happens to most players at 35-ish, which was the end of the line for you? You lose your love for it because it's just too hard. It hurts. Yeah. It hurts you physically, obviously, and mentally. It just wears on you, the grind of it. It's such a hard league. It's such a dog-eat-dog league. It is so highly competitive that every year we have half the playoff teams are all new because it's such a fine line of parity in this league. It's hard to keep your heads above water. It is. Right? Yep. So everybody's working hard to figure out how to beat the New England Patriots. Yet he's saying, I'm on fire to continue to play. He's saying, this has brought so much joy to my life. It tests you in so many ways. I've been dealing with the frustration for so long. The emotions run the gamut. But if you can stay and build your mental toughness, it's just incredibly rewarding. That's what's driving him because there's never been a mentally tougher player than this guy. Again, it's in a different package. I know he can be nerdy. He can be corny. He can be. Well, okay, he is. Okay. I'll give you his. He's not your typical face of the franchise, franchise quarterback in the National Football League. There's not a lot of macho to him. There's not a lot of swagger to him. He doesn't fit your mold. But he's just telling you, this is what I love. And he said, I don't think there's any greater gift in my life than what I have in football. Well, how would you feel if you're Giselle and his kids? How would you feel?
Tommy, she calls him Tommy, Skip. Tommy, I'd like to have a word with you.
Okay.
But if you don't mind me asking, Skip,
don't leave that point alone.
Yeah,
I'm not going to let you leave that point alone because
I think she's going to have a problem with that.
Okay, but he is laying it on the table, and I'm going to say this again. Ernestine hates for me to say this, but again, not that my life compares to Tom Brady's. What's that?
I hate it too, Ernestine, because I've asked him to stop saying it.
Our first date in New York City, it was 13 years ago. The first thing I told her, because I've been through this before, unfortunately, and I failed before at this, I just laid it right on the table. If this goes anywhere beyond this night, just remember, you'll always be 1A to my career because I just live for this. This is my whole life. But it's a good 1A because I don't go out with the guys on Wednesday night poker games or anything.
You ain't got no friends.
I don't go out. I just do this and I do her.
Ernestine and Hazel.
That's it. That's it. And they get every waking second that I don't devote to this, which is not a whole lot.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. But that's what he is on a much higher level than I'm on. He's just saying, I live for this, and it's a little bit beyond my wife and kids.
The difference between you and Tom Brady, you made no concessions. Ernestine, at year 10, at year 15, this is what I'm willing to do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pull back. I'm coming home to be with you full time. That's not what Tom Brady did. Giselle said, Tom Brady said he's going to play 10 years or 15 years, and he's coming home to be with her and the kids. That's what he said. That's what she said. Now, if he didn't say it, somebody's lying.
Oh, you mean this is back?
Back.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll give you that. He amended that.
Yes.
Because he stayed healthy, and I got to knock on wood for him. Obviously, this is all given his health.
Right.
Could he suffer a career-threatening injury against the Jets or the Pirates?
No.
Sure he could.
No, I
really
don't think there's an addendum. I think he told her he was going to play 10 years. That's what she said. Now, Skip, I'm just going by what Giselle said.
You could be right.
Giselle said Tommy said he's going to play X number of years, and then he's coming home to do the dad and husband thing.
Okay. So, what has happened this year to Tom Brady? I believe this has been his toughest year of his pro football life. Why is that? Because, well, he's definitely 41 years of age. But what has happened this year? Bill Belichick has strapped him, has handicapped Tom Brady with simply the worst defense Bill Belichick has ever put on the field in his 19 years as the Patriot coach. I don't think you can argue that. I can just show you the numbers, the stats, the one Pro Bowler, Stephon Gilmore. That's it. You got one Pro Bowler on defense. The talent has eroded dangerously, especially on defense. It's not what it used to be. You can't say, well, they got, no, they don't. They don't have it. 5 times they gave up 30-plus points this year. So Tom Brady had to try to overcome it 5 times, and some of those times he failed. Right now, I believe if we had experts, talent evaluators from the National Football League, evaluate all the receiving cores as we approach the playoffs, that Tom Brady's would be the worst in the league. I think it's inarguable because they had Josh Gordon for a little while. Now he has not one receiver that you can trust to consistently separate. Am I right about that?
I give you
Rob Gronkowski has become a liability. He's just a liability, and he's nearing retirement. This is going to be the end of the line for him, whether he likes it or not. His body just failed him, right? It just broke down. Okay? So Tom Brady has had to overcome that, and yet, despite all you say about his flinching or whatever you want to say, his stats have declined. I remind you one more time, Tom Brady put this team in position to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's pretty great. I don't care what you say. If you're a quarterback and your team was in perfect position to be the 1 seed in the AFC, that's pretty great. And they were, and again, I'm putting it on Bill Belichick, and I think you did too, the Miami Miracle. It cost them the 1 seed. And I believe Bill Belichick is getting a pass for the Miami Miracle. Nobody seems to blame him, but he put Gronkowski on the field in place of McCourty, right?
He was right. I mean, Skip, he's human. He makes a mistake.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a huge mistake because that could mean the difference. That one play could mean the difference between them having to play at Kansas City or wherever it is.
If you don't mind me asking, so was it a mistake that Tom Brady took a sack right before the half? Was that a mistake?
Okay, in Miami?
Yes.
All I know is at the end of the line, at the end of the game, he drove them down to what looked like the clinching field goal. It should have been a touchdown, but Belichick said, no, let's just run it and run the clock and take the field goal.
I'm just asking you a
question. Okay, were they in position to win the football game? Well, the quarterback did, and it was his best statistical game of the year. He threw for 358 and 3 touchdowns. And you say, well, they went 6 drives in the second half or whatever without scoring. Did he turn the football over? He did not.
No.
He did not.
But
he did everything in his power at a place where he had lost 5 of his last 7 games. His house of horrors, he played his best game of the year. What's to argue with that? You can nitpick it apart. Did he screw up the end of the half?
Yes. I want you to say what Coach Belichick, you said Coach Belichick made a mistake and he should get criticized. I need to hear you say Tom Brady made a mistake at the end of the half and criticize
well, I'll give you that. But in the end, the mistake was made by the head coach because that's why they couldn't eat at your restaurant that night. Tom Brady did everything in his power to make that a big W. It was over. It's over and out, right?
Here's the thing.
One play.
We look at Tom Brady. See, when you were all-time great quarterbacks, which Tom Brady is. Okay. You look at his body of work, you look at his resume, and you compare it to that. So if you look at that, if you just take it at that, like we do all players, that's the way we can determine, okay, whether or not, because sometimes it's not always visible to the naked eye unless you break down game after game after game after game. Skip, so you telling me over the last 8 games, he's 22nd in completion percentage, tied for 21st in touchdown, and you see no slippage in his play?
I do not. I don't. And I watch every play of every game very closely.
So in other words, he's just Mitchell Trubisky. Who has more touchdowns?
Stop.
He's Eli Manning. I'm just asking.
Is he not a winner? Did he, again, you got to look at the bottom line. He put them in position, and they are an under-talented football team. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes on the biggest stage. He outplayed Aaron Rodgers on the biggest stage.
With those same guys that you say that's not any good.
With this same record. The same record. It should be the record that gives them the 1 seed.
If you don't mind me asking.
He won the game against Kansas City that should have made them the 1 seed.
He won it.
Well, he threw for 182 in the fourth quarter, and that called winning the game?
Okay.
That's pretty great,
If you don't mind me asking. Okay.
That's at age 41.
How did he do at Tennessee?
Well, they were terrible. They lost some games. They were terrible on the
No. See what you did. Now,
Jacksonville was terrible.
Hold on. Time out, Skip. Hold on. I just want everybody here.
Okay, they lost games, but how about all the wins?
Hold on, Skip.
Well, do you want me to start to pick apart Patrick Mahomes?
Skip, just let me have my
4 big national TV games in which he
all I want you to do is let me have my say right here.
All right.
You notice, like when they win, you say Tom Brady outgunned Pat Mahomes.
He did.
But when they lose, you say they lost some games. Why is it they when they lose, but it's he when they win?
Okay, he wasn't very good, but the defense was worse. Was it not terrible?
That's
at Tennessee and Jacksonville?
That's the same defense that picked off Pat Mahomes twice in the first half.
The quarterback you have the least respect for, Blake Bortles, who lost his job for much of the year, threw for 373 against Bill Belichick.
Yes.
That's unforgivable. Listen. Here's what's going to happen in the offseason. If, in fact, Jonathan Kraft takes over for his father and there's a new voice at the top and he is given authority from the father, if the father says, I'm going to back off and you run it and you make the big calls and the big decisions, it could be a whole new day for Bill Belichick.
It might be a whole new day for Tom Brady, too.
It could be, but it could be shocking. Heads could roll. Let's say they lose their first home, the first game at home, the playoff game.
Sure.
Who could be, let's say Baltimore goes in there and does it again as they've done before a couple of times. Well, could heads roll? Could there be shocking changes made? Could Josh McDaniels be elevated to head coach because he's the younger, he has a deeper connection with younger Jonathan Kraft? It's possible. It's possible. Or to your point, could Tom Brady be shown the door? He could be. Do they want to start over? I don't see the exit strategy. I don't see the successor in place.
The problem that I have with people, and I don't minimize because having played this game, you understand what Tom Brady and the quarterback, what his job is to do. But people minimize Coach Belichick that he held the greatest show on turf to 17 points. People minimize that. People minimize that he inserted Malcolm Butler.
I don't. It was great.
But no.
Wait,
no, you
going
don't.
back to the first Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. And what about the one that he won in Arizona against Seattle? So do you believe Tom Brady wins that?
He won?
Oh, he won.
That he won?
So Malcolm Butler. So what was that? Who was on the field at the end of the game?
Okay, wait, are you saying Belichick or Malcolm Butler?
I know. Hold on. Malcolm Butler plays defense.
Yeah.
You tell Coach Belichick's in charge of the defense.
Okay.
Okay, who made the play? Who was on the field at the end of the game that determined the outcome of the game?
Malcolm Butler did. I give you that.
No.
Well, wait.
No, I would hear you say
Wait. Who threw for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom?
Skip, it was about to get nullified. It was about to get nullified. It was about to get nullified.
Well, maybe.
No, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. He threw for 505, but got no support from his defense. What happened?
Well, they gave up 41 points.
That's my point,
to the quarterback you have no respect for, the backup of the Philadelphia Eagles,
Skip.
Nick Foles.
Hold on, Skip. You take that I've said that I do not believe Nick Foles is an all-time great. He had an all-time great
Okay, well,
run.
let's say you think he's the second best Philadelphia Eagles quarterback.
I do.
And the second best put up 41 on Bill Belichick in a Super Bowl game. Boy, that's wrong. That's a bad sign.
Skip, it happens sometimes.
Okay, well, I just told you it happened a lot to Bill Belichick's defense this year because it was the worst unit he's put on the field.
How many times did they give up 30 points? 5?
5 times.
Ask Pat Mahomes, would he take 5 30-point games from his defense? Okay. At home, ask my homeboy. Gave up 54, gave up 43, gave up 38. Ask my homeboy about that.
I would love to put Tom Brady on the lie detector and say, Tom, what did you think of the Miami Miracle? And let him go off because he can talk a little blue streak too. On occasion.
And I like
to hear what he'd say about his head coach.
I like to give that same truth serum to Coach Belichick. Yeah. Coach Belichick, what you think of your quarterback in Miami right before the half? What you think about your quarterback doing that fainting goat in Pittsburgh or in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Huh?
They should have been the 1 seed.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
And they should have been missed the playoffs.
I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady.
No.
Hard to.
They're actually still the 2 seed. It's terrible. He's washed up. He should retire. He should step away for the sake of his wife and children right here, right now. And they're the 2 seed.
No,
they're the 2 seed.
No, that's something. I don't tell anybody what they should do. That's between he and his wife.
Yeah. Okay.
She's changed her tune a bit, though. Recent interviews, she's like, I'm going to stay out of this for now. She knows, I think, when he says, I absolutely want to play, it's safe for Giselle to just
No. What got him in trouble is that I love football more than anything.
That's true.
That's what got him. That must go
Well,
when
you
come home.
don't think she knows that?
No.
I think she knows
I might
that.
know it to Skip. I might know a lot of things. See, the truth hurts more in the end than it does the beginning. Grandmother told me that. I didn't know what she was saying, Skip. Because, see, if somebody tells you something early, you're like, okay, I understand that. But when they tell you late, when they get that truth, so now I hear it is later.
Yeah. The truth meant more at the end. The truth meant more at the end of the Miami game than during the
You know what, Skip Bayless? I can't
that's
even
when
believe
it
you
hurt
do
the
this.
most.
Okay, something that I don't say very often, guys. LeBron is out with an injury.
You're kidding.
He is. But how is that going to affect the Lakers? How will they do without him? We will discuss the latest next.
No mercy.
LeBron is day to day after an MRI showed he strained his groin in the third quarter of the Lakers' win against the Warriors on Christmas. He has already been ruled out for tonight's game in Sacramento. That will end LeBron's streak of 116 straight regular season games. And yesterday he tweeted, "Dodged a bullet. Sheesh. Praise to the almighty above." Back in no time. So Shannon, how long do you expect LeBron out?
I'm going to say conservative, Skip. I'm going to say 2 weeks.
Really?
Having dealt with this issue, Skip. I think the biggest thing is that you don't want it to be an ongoing or a lingering issue. So you make sure this thing is 100% healed. This is not something that, you play through a little pain and it's going to be okay. No, you don't want this thing nagging. You don't want him to come back and then he's out another 2 games. You don't want him to come back and then he's out another week. So err on the side of caution. Hopefully they can go 500, above 500, and keep this thing afloat while he's absent. I feel a lot better having Rondo running the point guard because he sees things almost as LeBron does, and he's a nice.
There was late breaking news this morning. I think that Rondo's out now.
What?
Did you hear this?
No.
I just heard it right before we came on the air. But he's got a sprained right ring finger.
I hadn't seen that.
Man, this some bull jive.
I know. I don't know. That's So Rondo broke his right hand, and then he comes back and
plays unbelievable.
Yeah, he played unbelievable. He won the game.
Yes.
I think he was the biggest reason they closed the deal.
He definitely should have got the game ball.
Okay, and then something I didn't know because I never saw him exit during the game.
I didn't either.
Did he keep playing with it? But he sprained the right ring finger, and he's out. So it looks like they could start a lineup tonight and this is I don't know if it's a first, but it's really rare, of all draft picks, because most teams just don't have lineups of draft picks, because because obviously that's Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Kuz, and Josh Hart, and then your big man,
Big
Zubats.
Big
Always had a smile.
And JaVale did make the flight this morning, but I don't know if he's going to play or not, because it sounded like he got seriously ill for a while.
Yeah, they're using the hospital.
Yeah.
Skip, the thing is, if you look at Steph Curry had a very similar injury. He had a groin injury. We don't know how similar it was or not, but it was a groin injury. He missed 3 weeks. But LeBron, now his history, he doesn't get injured very much. I mean, the only thing I can think he's missed with that back when he first went back to Cleveland. So he hadn't had missed with a sprained ankle, or he hadn't missed with anything with a knee, knock on wood.
Yep.
But LeBron is a different type of athlete than Steph Curry. LeBron plays downhill. LeBron plays through contact. So that's a different animal than what Steph Curry was dealing with. Now, Steph is constant motion. So he needed to let that thing heal completely. But I also believe LeBron. And the thing is with LeBron is that I don't want him to do the slightest bump in the road. They lose a game, lose 2 games. He gets antsy and wants to come back to stop the bleeding. Because Skip, remember when he went away in Cleveland his first, they went 1-7 in 8 games.
They did.
And they were 4-23 over the 4 years in which he was there, in which he didn't play. So what happens with an athlete is, I can stop this, I can fix this, and you come back a little bit sooner than what you should. I hope for LeBron's sake, he errs on the side of caution. And the Lakers, I hope they steadfast and say, nah, Bron, we're going to stick to this. Because they had 20 games. Skip, last year they didn't win 20 games till February. 20 games in February.
Crazy.
And then a couple of years ago, they didn't win 20 games at all. And then a couple of years later, they won 20 games in March. So they're ahead of the curve. And I get it, Skip. I get it. It seems to me the West is wide open this year.
It's wide open.
Golden State struggling. Houston is not what we thought they would be. OKC is doing well, but they're kind of up and down. The Nuggets.
Well, Russell just can't shoot, man.
Right. The Nuggets look good for 2 or 3 games, and then they get blown up by Memphis or a team.
Well, last night they lost to my guys, to San Antonio. And it was close, but they lost.
So for me, I believe it'll be at least 2 weeks. At the bare minimum, 2 weeks. Let this thing get 110% healed, not 100, because, Skip, you don't want him to come back and risk this thing.
So, I still can't get it in my head what happened to LeBron the other night. This is more LeBron like drama kingness here, because he says after the game, I heard something pop. Well, that's just no good. If you hear something pop, that means you tore something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was scar tissue that was built up, and he tore some scar tissue.
it's possible knowing Iron Man LeBron.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Because it's hard for you to believe, Skip, over 16 years, he hadn't had some injuries that he's played through that calcified or.
Okay, you're probably right. But the point is that I was shocked by the sort of mid-afternoon tweet. Oh, he dodged a bullet? He did? He dodged a bullet and hashtag back in no time.
Right.
Well, then I thought at that moment, does that mean he's going to play at Sacramento? Because I thought it did. I thought that he's onward and upward. And then here comes another report, I believe it's the LA Times at it first. No, he's not going to play at Sacramento.
Day to day.
Okay, day to day.
Aren't we all?
Well, I know, but except for LeBron in the NBA, he's not day to day. He's played. Just looked this up. He's played a grand total, if you count the playoffs too, of 55,527 minutes. It's just staggering to me how many minutes that is without. I'm knocking on wood for him. Without any significant injury, right? Not one. No shoulder, no knee, no Achilles, no nothing.
Ankle.
No, ankle. That's right, ankle. That's a good
player
one.
rolls an ankle.
Yeah, they break ankles.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong. It is a contact sport. Whether you believe it or not, it's high speed and some contact, and obviously nobody's wearing any pads, right?
No.
And for LeBron James, it's really a contact sport because he's got Shaq syndrome going on, where every time he drives, I think they could call a foul every time, and about 75% of the time they do not call the fouls. And he gets hacked and hammered.
Well, if they call fouls for him, like they called James Harden, he'd probably be shooting 25 free throws a night.
And that would be a horror story.
He'd probably be 90%. Because he get more practice. Yeah, they get more practice.
Maybe the refs just give him a break. Like, we don't want to send him to the free throw line.
Stop!
Like, that's more punishment than...
You know what's
right? That's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Jenny's laughing at that one. That was funny.
Believe you, Jenny.
That was funny. So I'm going to go with his history. His history would tell me he's going to miss one game tonight. And I agree with your premise. Don't mess with it. Don't let it be. Let it lay. Let it heal or whatever was wrong. I don't know what was wrong with it. I don't know. Was it crampy sort of, you know, like can your groin cramp? I've never heard of that one.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. I hurt my groin one year playing football, but I didn't play. Take it back. I can be honest.
Okay.
I hurt my groin on the diving board. After practice, we go in there and swim, and so
go in where?
At University of Northern Colorado.
At camp?
Yeah, they had a springboard. You know your boy with Lou Gainers, black Lou Gainers. I'm up there hit a 1.5. I'm up there twirling.
You were doing like off the
10 meters.
Diving board?
Wait, is that the high dive?
Yeah. Not the platform, the springboard, the 10 meter.
Okay. Need video of this.
Oh!
Yeah.
I hit that thing.
Ow.
Jackknife. I hit a 1.5. And then the last time, Skip, I was trying not to do it because a dude hit a 2. And I was going to try to do it, but I got...
Is this story for real?
I don't know.
It is. I heard it.
It sounds good.
But I told him, but that's not...
I'm not sure how you pull your groin in a dive.
No, but Skip, I mean a spike.
You're like trying to do the split?
No, Skip, I was up there, Skip. I was almost touching the ceiling up that thing.
Really?
Skip, can you imagine?
And what did you tell the coaching staff?
I heard it running around.
Running around?
Yep.
Okay, and you missed what?
I missed like 3 or 4 days of practice.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay, and then it was totally okay after that.
Okay.
Okay, well, 3 or 4 days.
But I didn't hear a pop, though. I didn't hear a pop.
No. I still don't get the pop, but then hashtag dodged a bullet.
Yep.
Thank you, God, he says. I don't know.
Almighty.
Yeah.
Praying hands. You see them praying hands, Skip?
I didn't know LeBron prayed, but
what you mean you didn't know the man prayed?
Well, I don't know. He never talks about it, so that came out of nowhere.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
Okay.
It's the one that be talking about it all the time that I worry about.
That is true. I'll give you that one. Okay, so now back to your point about the West. This is the weirdest West ever.
It is.
There's never been anything like it because we now have 14 teams within 8 games of the top. You know, like it's like the Lakers are only, what are they now, like
2.5
out, and then they're
2.5 out of 10.
I think they're only 2 out of being out of the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
So while it's great news for LeBron because the West is, I'm not going to say it's wide open, but it's more open than it's been because Golden State just looks like a troubled basketball team. And look, on paper, is Golden State easily the best team? Sure. Is DeMarcus going to be the X factor that puts them back into dominance, into, like prohibitive favorite?
Right.
Maybe, but I don't know if he's going to fit with them. That's a huge if right there, right?
That's a huge factor.
And to me, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but the Draymond thing is just going to hang over them the whole year. We're about to talk about Kevin Durant, but the point is that I look at the teams that aren't even in the playoffs right now. Like the Kings aren't in the playoffs, and they've had a very good year so far. Yeah. And they're talented. They have some young talent on. They have some mid-range talent. But
Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox are looking good. Colin Stein is starting to play like a lottery pick.
So we just saw Memphis the other night win at the Lakers, and they're out of the playoffs. And Utah, every other night, I see them look like, wow, that looks like last year's Utah. And then they stink it up the next night. So, sometimes because Donovan Mitchell's been way up and way down this year. And then the Mavericks. Doncic is turning into a star.
Yeah.
Well, so they're out of the playoffs. Is he just going to keep getting better and better? Are they going to take off around Doncic? They could. I don't know. And then the Timberwolves. I don't know what to make of them. I don't know. But
because some nights, Carl Anthony Towns, Skip, he gets you 25 and 20.
Okay.
And then the next night he gets you 5 and 12.
We're going to talk about Derrick Rose later, but he's had a phenomenal year.
He might make the All-Star. Well, he can't make the All-Star because of the position he played. But he's been unbelievable.
Well, he can't make the All-Star team because their record isn't good enough at this point. But again, do they have firepower?
Yes.
Could they take off at some point?
Absolutely.
And that brings me to the all the way down to the 12th place team, the New Orleans Pelicans, featuring the number one player in PER in the league.
They lost again last night.
They lost again last night, but he
had a monster night.
Okay, but again, when Mirotić gets healthy, could they take off and make a run at the 8th spot? You better believe they could. Right?
Yeah.
Did they not win a playoff series last year?
These young guns need to hold steady, hold the ship steady until LeBron comes back.
Yeah.
Now, that's going to become a little bit more difficult with Rondo being out. But, Skip, if you notice, he always, not like I said, I mean, LeBron just doesn't wear his religion on his sleeve, but he always thanks to God Almighty for giving him the ability that he's able to play on.
I never catch that, but whatever. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Well, see, that's what I like. I like a guy that holds the religion because I've seen guys, Jenny, have the Bible in one hand and 3 girls' hand in the other. So I don't want that, Skip. I want that LeBron keep that thing. Hey, I serve what I serve. I think don't skip me. I don't do a whole lot of religion, but every time I eat, I say grace.
His recent public language hasn't been exactly biblical language, but I'm just throwing that out. I don't know.
At least he said sheesh.
Yeah,
sheesh.
Oh, that's true. That's a good Bible word. Sheesh.
Well,
keeping it.
I remember I said the A word one time, and my grandma said, "What you say?" I said, "A is in the Bible." My grandma said, "He ain't mean it like what you talking about."
That's true.
Well, did you put something else on?
Yeah, I just said the A word.
Okay.
My grandma looked at me.
She's not gonna let that go.
Yeah, I was like, "Great, it's in the Bible." She said, "Yeah, but he didn't mean it like what you said it." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
No, I don't know. So LeBron better get back sooner than later, or they're going to find themselves out of the playoffs.
No,
I'm just saying.
Hold on, Jenny. Hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah.
You just tweeted the other night, who needs LeBron?
Well, that was a joke.
No. I want no
joke. A joke.
Oh, no. You talking about the Lakers.
Well, obviously, they got, what was the lead? It got up to 31 without LeBron?
But when he left, it was
funny.
17.
How do you know what I tweet?
Don't worry about what
Jenny,
I know.
how does he know?
I know everything.
He's creeping on my tweets.
I gotta pay attention to both of you guys.
I'm omnipotent.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Got a lot of people.
What does that mean, Skip Bayless?
You're everywhere.
Yeah.
You're all powerful.
All-knowing.
Yeah.
All-knowing.
I don't want to say the G word, but you know what.
Say.
Yeah, I ain't going to say that. I don't do that, Skip.
Really?
But just so you know.
I didn't think God would lose 17 cases of Diet Mountain Dew, right? I don't know.
Probably
That's
not.
just me.
Probably
I thought
not.
it was human.
No mercy. Okay, let's move on from Shannon's guy to Skip's guy.
Yep, that's
Kevin
true.
Durant. There have been so many rumors about his future, and among his options, he could team up with LeBron with the Lakers, come to LA but join the Clippers, go to New York with the Knicks, or stay in Golden State. Let's take a listen to KD on what he's looking for from his potential suitors.
Ain't nobody can recruit me no more.
Why is that?
Because I want to dictate the environment that I want to be in. So it's just like, you can't give me the bells and whistles and be like, I'd rather see what you do on a day-to-day basis. Or like that stuff really doesn't impress me. Arenas and doing extra shit just for me, like, nah. I just want to see if you're a real person. I just want to make sure I get as much money as I can in my next deal.
Okay.
So I can stack up my money and figure it out.
Okay, Shannon, what do you make of those comments?
KD said he didn't want to talk about free agency entering into this year. For someone that doesn't want to talk about a subject, he sure spends a lot of time talking about the subject.
That's a very good point. I will agree with that point.
Which he doesn't want to talk about.
Yep.
Skip, the thing is, he said, but see what, this is a shot. Okay, let's take the back. He said he wants to make as much money as he possibly can, which is Golden State can play him the most money. Now, who said that, Skip?
Yeah.
In his return to Cleveland, LeBron James says, I will never, ever play for anything less than what? The max. Why you listening? Why you taking advice from somebody that's toxic? Oh, that's not, we talk about that later, Skip. He says he wants to control the environment. The environment in Golden State was already established before Kevin Durant got there.
True.
So he wants to go somewhere where he has input in the type of environment. And then all of a sudden it'll be KD brought this here. You see, Skip, he says, well, can't no one recruit him anymore. Well, that's exactly what Golden State did. And he says, well, stadium doesn't impress him, so Golden State, y'all taking him to that new arena that they built in San Francisco, he wasn't impressed.
That was just like a month ago. They gave him a personal tour with the hard hat, right?
That
doesn't impress me.
But Skip, here's the thing. KD, you never know what, when someone's recruiting you.
Yep.
I can assure you, when Coach Saban goes into a grandmother's or a mother's home to recruit their son or grandson, he's not yelling. He's not going to tell them, I'm going to make you do wind sprints. He puts on a nice touch. KD, you never know what someone's going to get like until you actually get there and you see them on a day-to-day basis, which in turn means you're going to have to sign to find out what someone's like. Steph could have told you this, and Iggy and Draymond and Clay, they could have told you all of that. But that's what they do in the recruiting, Skip. They put on all the flair, all the fluff, make sure you have, KD, whatever you need. And then when you get there, like, hold on, Coach Saban yells? Oh, they were like this. I didn't know this. Why did you do this when you were in my living room? Come on, KD, bro. You've been on recruit. You went to University of Texas. I'm sure that wasn't the only school that recruited you. So you know how they pile it on really, really thick. Tell you everything you want to hear in order to get you to where they want you to be.
Yep.
And then, but Skip, Warriors, I would be a little concerned. Because it sounds like to me, Skip, and KD knows this, he's never going to get the credit that he deserves winning championships there. He goes to the Knicks. He wins one championship with the Knicks. It'll be worth more than the 3 that he win. If he were to win this one this year, it'll be worth more than 3.
Sure.
Because even though you did the same path with LeBron joined a 47-win team that got kicked out in the first round. He didn't join a 73-9 team that had lost in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So Kevin Durant is sending a lot of mixed messages, but for a guy that said at the beginning of the season he want to talk about free agency, he damn sure spends a lot of time talking about free agency.
Does.
So, I'm going to say it one more time. Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. That's what I believe.
I can't tell.
But I cannot defend the best player on the planet when he speaks to the media or gets on Twitter and starts to unravel. Yeah, I know.
Multiple personalities.
Yeah, multiple personalities. And I have no idea what much of this meant because Kevin Durant, I'm going to say this again, he is the thinnest skinned superstar I have ever closely observed. And I do not love that about him, but it doesn't seem to affect him on the biggest stage in the finals when he's the back-to-back finals MVP.
Correct.
He seems to be able to disassociate from that side of his personality and rise and shine when I least expected him to 2 years ago in the finals. That was the weight of the NBA world. Everybody wanted to see Kevin Durant fall on his face because he left Russell Westbrook high and dry in Oklahoma City, right?
Yep.
So what I don't like about Kevin is that the littlest thing from the littlest person can just set him off and set him spinning off the court, right?
It's normally a Joe Smo on Twitter.
Yeah, and it could have been Joe Schmo that he just read before Chris Haynes interviewed him that set him off and said, well, I'm gonna show him, you can't recruit me.
Right.
Because somebody probably said, Kevin, you love to be recruited because he does love to be recruited. He loves to be wined and dined, and he loves the attention, and he loves the empowerment that he has this year as he heads toward another free agency, right?
Who doesn't like to be wined and dined and said how much you wanted and how much you needed?
He is basking in this.
Yes.
But I don't trust what he says from day to day because he is capable of saying one thing today and saying the complete opposite
tomorrow
or tonight.
Okay.
Right?
True.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So what am I supposed to make of? He says, I want to stack money. Okay, fine. If that's what you want, then just stay in Golden State
Right,
because
they
you
can
can
give
make
you the most.
$30 more million.
Correct.
And for a 5-year max, right?
Correct.
Okay, why wouldn't you stay there? And where have you made all your best investments in Silicon Valley? So wouldn't you stay to watch over your investments or
Right.
continue to roll out new investments?
Yep.
Wouldn't that be where you could stack the most money?
Yep.
I guess New York you could argue, but you can't make as much salary in New York.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
I guess he's saying, in New York, I'd be the toast of the town.
yeah, but the mixed message comes.
pressure.
Then he says arenas. Don't show me arenas. Well, wait a second. They just did.
Yeah.
And he knows that full well.
And he had a shovel, some red tip boots,
He had his hard hat on.
and a hard hat.
Come on.
In a new arena.
Yeah, and it's like in your face, Golden State. I don't need that.
And then talking about Skip, remember he also said they're probably going to have statues of us out front of this arena.
And you don't want that? You don't need that?
Okay.
So what? I don't know. I mean, my gut would be that right now he would lean towards staying in Golden State. But then we get to culture.
Yes.
Then we get to day-to-day. I want real people. Well, the only way he's going to know the realest people are the people he's living with right now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he took a chance that...
Draymond real.
That's
Draymond
right.
really real.
Okay.
How much more real you want than that, KD?
And that's the hugest X factor right now. And I'm going to say this again. I still believe before this trade deadline, the only way to ensure, to guarantee that Kevin is going to stay in Golden State, they've got to get rid of Draymond.
But for what, Skip? Draymond's Draymond.
I know he's
obviously-
more valuable. I don't care. This would be addition by subtraction, and I know it would be a big,
But
bold
what if
move.
KD still leave?
Okay, you can't get a guarantee on that. You
No.
could get a handshake, you could get a verbal agreement, but you can't sign anything. I'm just saying that would virtually guarantee that he would stay, because if you go that far for me
I don't like
to
promises.
clear the air, to
I
clear
need a
the
commitment.
decks,
I don't like promises.
Yeah.
My grandma say promises like pie crust, Jenny, thin and easily broken.
okay?
I don't like that.
So after the game the other night, he again spoke strongly, harshly, dare I say, about Draymond Green in the basketball context, because he said, I hate it when he hesitates. So do I. I can't even watch him when he hesitates, because now he's so he gets the ball at the three-point line. He looks around like, really?
But Skip, they
Me?
make it seem like Draymond was a 50% three-point shooter for his career. He's not been. He's a guy that's
just-
streaky that hit a few
Okay.
here and there.
But he made enough that it kept people more honest on the stars, right?
Yes.
And now he's just,
I don't care.
he's a liability.
His 25 points are not the same as Steph, Clay's, and KD's. I don't care about Draymond. Draymond hurts you when he has 14 assists, when he has 15 rebounds.
Or when he's
6 to 8
winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Skip, his scoring, that's the last thing on my mind with Draymond. Those other guys hurt you scoring. Draymond doesn't hurt you scoring. Draymond hurts you with assists and rebounds because he's getting the ball off the rim, he's pushing tempo, he's kicking the three-point shooters, or he's assisting the basketball. Draymond scoring that'll mean nothing.
Yeah. If I ran the Golden State Warriors, I would look to move him before the trade deadline. I would. I just think their culture went sour over this incident.
But when KD says, Skip, he's never going to get credit for what happened in Golden State because it was sold before he got there. So
Well, that's what Draymond told him on the bench that night. We won before you got here. Even though you kept pointing out that Draymond was in tears when he called him from the parking lot.
He was. Man
Because
called KD a garden.
And you know why?
A garden tool.
He got Kyrie'd that night.
No, he didn't.
And it brought him to tears. Left
Stop
him in
it.
tears. Well, he did.
Skip, you know what, Skip?
Well,
Why you
they
keep-
did. And Kyrie
Ain't nobody
not
talking
just
about
made
Kyrie.
the
Ain't
shot
nobody
or
talking about
shot?
Kyrie. This is a KD son.
Well, that's what had just happened. That reduced him to tears. Kyrie Irving did.
Crying.
Yeah.
And he take a shower, got a towel on.
Yeah.
He didn't call his mom.
No.
He didn't call his homeboy. He didn't call his lady. Who jumps on the phone and the first thing you do, you call somebody from another team?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I might have lost the game. When I lost the game, the lowest I've ever been was in 1991, Skip.
I know. I
dropped
thought you were doing the Mark Brunell game.
No. I was lower than, but no, this one. Skip, I dropped a touchdown in the south end zone that would have given us home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We end up having to go to Buffalo. We lose 10-7. I'm in the car. I'm going home. I'm crying. The first person I call is Sterling Sharpe. Bro, what's up? What's happened?
Well, you didn't ask him to come out of retirement and come help?
No,
you,
he
right?
was still playing then.
Oh, he was still playing.
playing then.
Right.
And I explained it. I'm not about to call some other dude. Draymond called another man to come help him fight his fight.
And then a month ago, what did that man call him?
Oh! Called it what he knew to be. Because guess what? If I can pick up the phone and call you to come fight a fight for me, what'd that make you? Y'all ain't homies like that. Now, we down. Now, I got boys I've been with for 30 years that we gonna ride together. But somebody that I play with and in casual, you know, we see each other, I may have a drink or two. Nah. Dad missed me with that.
Well, Katie is sure doing plenty of talking,
He's
like
doing
you
a lot
said.
of
For
talking.
someone who said he didn't want to talk about the future, you know. Someone else who is doing a lot of talking, Skip and I have come to know and love Baker Mayfield, but should he tone down the attitude?
Oh, you love this, huh?
Shannon's already rolling his eyes. We'll discuss. No mercy. Baker Mayfield is not backing down from the budding rivalry with his former coach, Hugh Jackson. Baker appeared to stare Jackson down during a long pass play in the Browns' win against the Bengals on Sunday. And after the game, Baker was pretty coy about it, so he was asked about it again yesterday. Let's hear it.
I don't get why people have a problem with football being a competitive sport. You're supposed to play with emotion. You're supposed to play with passion. Quite honestly, if you don't like it, whatever. Football's not meant to be a soft game. Could care less. I'm not trying to get anybody's approval. I'm trying to win football games and do this for as long as I can. That's the goal. And the guys inside this locker room know that. And they know that I would fight for them. They know I'd take a bullet for them. And to me, that's what matters. I don't have to make any friends outside of this locker room. I'm not trying to do that. You know, once they're in here, they know exactly what they're going to get. And that's what really matters.
Okay, Shannon, do you have a problem with those comments?
I do. Disrespect isn't competitiveness. You know, he said something in there that he's not trying to make friends. A coach once told me, he said, son, you don't have to make friends, but you damn sure don't want to make enemies. Skip, in this game right here, you covered this game a long time. And the game of football is sanctioned violence. I can do whatever I want to you and dress it up as a football play and nothing happens. I played this game 14.
Maybe a flag flies, but nothing.
But I can dress it up as a football play and you never know.
No.
See, the thing is with me, Skip, and I look, playing this game for 14 years, there have been defensive players that I dislike. And I thought they did some things that was dirty. And I had a way of getting back with them. Baker Mayfield, and see what upsets me is that people has these young guys coming to the league, he's so competitive. Like in the 99-year history, the new guy that comes into the league is the most competitive guy that we've ever seen. Baker Mayfield, you want to impress me? You want to prove how competitive you are? Do what you did Sunday to Hugh Jackson. Do it to John Harbaugh on Sunday.
Well, he doesn't have a beef with John Harbaugh.
Whoa. He competitive. Competitive is not about beefs. Competitive, I'm competing against Jenny. I'm competing against Hugh. I'm competing against the camera guy. Doesn't matter. I compete. Nah, he being petty. Because what's the difference? If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Hugh? He got fired. Mike Pettin got fired. Romeo Cornell got fired. Our own Eric Mangini got fired. There are a lot of coaches that got fired.
Bill Belichick got
Bill
fired.
Belichick got fired. He went and got another job. He happened to get a job with a guy that knew him. Okay, got no problem with that. But Baker's trying to dress this up. Oh, when they ask him about it, no, what are you talking about? I don't know. Now all of a sudden, you know, I'm competing. This is not competitiveness. But let me tell you what's going to happen. Defensive guys are going to get tired of Baker Mayfield. And they're going to dress it up as a football play.
Okay.
And they're going to stop this. The game has gone on far too long to have a young guy come in. Oh, he had a chip on it. Baker, it's the chip on his shoulder. Let me. No, that's not true, Jenny. There have been a lot of guys that had a chip on their shoulder that couldn't play. Baker Mayfield can play. So that chip, we can dress it up all we want to. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, Skip Bayless. There's going to be a defensive guy that Baker Mayfield's going to disrespect a player or their coach. And like he says he would take a bullet for his players and his teammates, so will a lot of other guys on other teams. And they're going to put a stop to this foolishness. And watch what I tell you.
You know what Baker would say to everything you just said? Just bring it on.
Okay.
Just bring it.
Okay.
Just stop me. He would say, just stop me. And if you don't like who I am or what I do, he would say to you, screw you, because that's his attitude toward everybody. Am I right about that? If I can use the oldest school football term, Baker Mayfield back in the early days when I covered the NFL, back in the mid-'70s with the Miami Dolphins, the old line was, he's full of piss and vinegar. That's what he is. He's full of both of those, right? And he spews it all over the field because that's how he motivates himself. We talk about Psycho Tom. Brady just becomes some other guy in the highest forms of competitiveness in the biggest games. He just goes a little crazy. This guy goes crazy just about every Sunday.
Right.
Because he's not as talented as Brady is overall. He's not as big as Brady. Brady's 6'4", and this kid's 6 feet and something, right?
Yeah.
So he's always played with the chip on his shoulder because everybody told him he's too little to play football, definitely to play quarterback. Obviously coming out of Austin, out of high school, nobody recruited him, winds up at Texas Tech, falls apart with Cliff Kingsbury, has to walk on again at Oklahoma. And those kids at Oklahoma loved him. They would, quote unquote, run through walls for him. They would die for him, and vice versa.
Agreed.
When he says, I would take a bullet for my teammates, I know it's figurative speech, but again, they believe he actually would do that. And so in the biggest picture, he's just saying, stop me. You know, this is who I am. Just stop me. And he lost it so much. I don't know if you saw that little thing on the sideline. I can't even describe what he did, but he was celebrating a touchdown pass to Fells, and he ran to Freddie Kitchens, his coordinator on the sideline, and did some lewd gesture, which the NFL is not going to like, and it was right on the edge of the sideline. He didn't do it to the other team like he did it to the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
But he's just a little over the edge, a little out of control. It's just who he is. Now, that is going to have to stop because the NFL is going to stop that
The
one.
NFL, the guys in this league, Skip, this has been going on too long. They'll police it. They'll rein him in.
Yep.
They'll knock his block off. And then guess what? He's like, well, they're targeting me. They're taking cheap shots. Because I'm going to tell you, they'll rein it in. These guys, they have a way of policing this. They're going to police this. They're not going to let you keep on. But I've never, in all my years, Skip, and you've covered the league longer than I played in it, I've never seen players on an opposing team, once the coach gets fired, be as openly and blatantly disrespectful to Hugh Jackson. The guy gets an interception and he hands Hugh the ball. Is Hugh Jackson the only guy that's gotten fired as a head coach during the season? I'm just Skip.
Okay, but just remember, it goes back to that Hard Knocks incident.
What does Denzel Ward have to be upset about? Because he the one that intercepted the ball and threw it to and handed it to Hugh Jackson on the sideline.
Okay.
So what's he upset about?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know that one. I can only speak for Baker. And again, he's shattering the mold, and maybe the mold will shatter back pretty soon, like you said. But he just doesn't care what anybody else thinks, probably to a fault, but it's what drives him. And trust me on this. This team is going to Baltimore on Sunday for a game that really, really matters in that division. It's going to decide the division. And I believe the Cleveland Browns believe they can go win that game mostly because that kid's playing quarterback for them. Don't you think that?
Yeah, of course.
Because he already...
And they should, because they're playing unbelievable.
He already beat the Ravens at Cleveland.
But Skip, that's what I'm talking about. And Baker Mayfield, he's only two touchdowns away from breaking Peyton Manning, the most touchdown passes by a rookie.
Yeah.
That's what we should be talking
I'm
about.
not sure he's going to be able to pull that off this
Not
week.
his
That is
antics.
true, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been overshadowed a bit by
Thank you.
everything else he's doing.
Baker,
I can agree with
do
that.
what you did to Hughes, do it to John Harbaugh.
I know, but he doesn't have any reason to do it to John Harbaugh.
Why not?
Well-
He's competitive. They ain't going to get him going. That's going to get his juices flowing.
He's going to find someone. You might be next, Shannon.
I don't think it's John Harbaugh, but I do
Well,
think it
get
could be
Sizzle.
Shannon Sharpe.
Well, get Sizzle.
Yeah, I do too.
I tell you what, get old Sizzle.
Hey, that'd be...
Get old Sizzle.
Hey.
I want you to get to do a little dance in Sizzle face.
There's only one guy who can get sizzle, and that's this guy right here. I used to get it, but that was on TV. Yeah, not on the football field.
But they'll shut this down.
By the way, I got a shout out to Suggs because he's playing at a high level, and he wants to continue to play. He's like the Brady of pass rushers, right?
He's what if he starts this game, plays this game, he'll pass Ray most games in Ravens history.
Wow.
That's saying something.
Is he not the driving force of that defense to this moment?
And he's the link between
He
Ed
is.
Reed and
He is
Ray.
the link.
He's the link.
He is the reason they have a chance to get to this Super Bowl.
They
I know
still
they
play-
got a young quarterback too, but boy, that defense.
They play old school football.
Yeah. And again, so does Baker Mayfield, and I don't love his chances at Baltimore on Sunday, but Lamar's young too, so.
But you remember last year, Skip, they had an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and they allowed Cincinnati to come in, beat them. Buffalo goes to the playoffs.
They did.
So I'm sure John Harbaugh's warning his team, look, guys, hey, we remember what happened last year on this very field at this very time. And that team is even more dangerous than the team we lost to last year.
So I said before the year, if Baker Mayfield could start from the start, this team could go 9-7, and I think it could have if he had started from the start. And then he had to overcome Hugh versus Todd Haley, which they fought all through Hard Knocks, all the way through the first 8 games, and it wasn't until midway through the season they were both fired. That's hard on a kid quarterback to sort of have to figure that out. It was.
They got rid of both of them.
They did.
Trail swoop.
Yeah, and that was a good move by the owner. He just said, okay, both of you guys are gone. I'm not going to stand for this. I won't tolerate this.
Hey, Jenny, sometimes you got the hair go with the hide.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the baby got to go out with the bat. Because a lot of times, Skip, you know how that works. The head coach get fired, the offensive coordinator stays. No, honestly, no. Y'all bickering too much. It's too much. Yeah, I ain't siding with you. I'm not siding with him.
I know.
Both of you hit the door.
When all of a sudden Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens are making a pretty strong statement, they deserve some serious consideration.
And they deservedly so.
Yep.
Deservedly so.
Well, and nothing Baker would love more than playing spoiler to the Ravens. That is all
He
about.
spoils Shannon.
Come on, Ravens. Come on, Sizzle.
Let's see.
OT
how Shannon
Sizzle.
reacts.
Something.
Well, how much longer is Tom Brady going to play?
Good
That's
question.
the big question. James Harrison will help us answer next.
No mercy.
Tom Brady's Patriots are 10-5 and still have a shot at home field throughout the playoffs, but there are questions about his future. Brady is 41 years old. He has a rumored knee injury, and his stats have been un-Brady-like this season. In addition to that, some NFL insiders predicted on ESPN.com that the Patriots will take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds of next year's draft. This week, Brady was asked if he'll definitely play next year, and this is what he had to say.
I absolutely believe I will. I know I've talked about it for a long time. You know, I have goals to play not only next year, but beyond that. And I'm going to try to do it as best I possibly can. I'm going to give it everything I have, like I always have. It'll certainly be a challenge. I don't take any of these things for granted, but I hope I can keep playing. I hope I can keep playing at a championship level. I'm feeling really good, Jim. It's been 15 weeks of football, and there's always bumps and bruises you deal with, but I'm feeling great for this time of year. I'll take it every year to be feeling as good as I am at this time in the season.
All right, we're joined by FS1 NFL analyst James Harrison. James, good to have you back. You have played with and against Brady. In your opinion, how much longer will he play?
I think he will play as long as he wants to because Robert Kraft is going to let him play as long as he wants to. But in actuality, health-wise, I think he has 2 or 3 years left, a max.
The 3's a lot now.
3 is a lot, true statement. But if you get some more help around him to where he's not having to worry about his footing and his safety in the pocket, get some more receivers. Gronk is not being Gronk this year. You know, I believe it has something to do with his back injuries. I had that same back surgery.
You did.
And a lot of the things that he's doing now, the movements, how he hits the ground, how slow he gets up, that's just pounding from like the wear and tear of that surgery and things, you know,
Doesn't he
acting
look
up.
like he's near the end?
Oh, yeah, I would think so. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come back next year.
Yep.
So,
Well, he's not coming back to New England. He might go somewhere else, but he ain't coming back to New England.
So, you know, the Brady thing, like I say, 2-3 years. But, you know, in actuality, I think, you know, they're not going to boot him out. If he wants to play, you know, Mr. Kraft is still going to give him that opportunity.
I disagree. I'm going to say one year because he's not the same Tom Brady. And see, the reason why the Steelers diminish your roles and let you go on because you had a level of play that you had established. And when the Steelers felt James Harrison was not the defensive player of the caliber, it's like, okay, James, we're going to let you test the free agent market. Well, if you look.
Also disrespectful the way they, you know, some days you'd show up and.
No, I'm talking about before because he had gone to Tennessee before.
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati.
You were Cincinnati. Cincinnati was first.
Right.
Yeah, we went to Cincinnati, took the North with us. But go ahead.
That's a good point.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
is that Tom Brady has established this level. Look, he's not playing at that level. That's okay. As you get older, you can't maintain that level of play. LeBron doing what he's doing in year 6, that was an anomaly. And even Tom playing as well as he played at 39-40 is an anomaly. But it happens. We saw Peyton Manning win the MVP. He was, 38? 55-10. He comes back and he goes, 39-15. Like, but, you kind of start seeing some things in there. And then the next year, off the cliff he went. That's what happens.
Okay.
If you're going to measure, if you just measure Tom Brady against average guys, you're like, oh, yeah, he's playing unbelievable. But that's not the standard. Tom Brady, the standard is Tom Brady's excellence. Do you believe he's still playing like that on a consistent basis? Now, if you want to make your argument for him, you can go back, look at game tape, pick out 150 plays, and say, look at Tom. Man, Tom look as good as he did in year 10. And I can go get 50 plays, 150 plays, and say, look at Tom. He looked like he's 50 and not 41.
What does the record tell you?
Hold on. You see what you did there?
I didn't do anything there. I just asked you a question.
His record. So is that a Tom Brady or is that a team stat? Because James said they needed more players around him.
They do.
Oh, so why all of a sudden they need more players? You never said that before.
Despite the erosion of talent, they should be the 1 seed in the AFC. If not for the debacle that was the Miami Miracle, they would be the 1 seed right here, right now. And that indicates that the quarterback is still playing at a pretty high level, maybe a very high level. You can pick up all the stats you want. You can say he's flinching and ducking and diving, whatever you want to say. All I know is without the Miami Miracle, we would be talking about number 1 seed New England in the AFC. You know, the 1 seed's pretty valuable, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Very.
2 games at home to get to a Super Bowl. It should be that right here, right now, except for the last play at Miami.
So, right? But why do they get the benefit of the doubt? Kansas City can say the same thing. Without letting Phillip Rivers march 75 yards, getting a touchdown and a 2-point
That's
conversion.
a march 75 yards, not I just did a flip hit, all that. I got Gronk trying to tackle somebody.
But you could have won that game at Tennessee. You could have won that game against Detroit. You could have won that game at New England. And then what? We have a different argument, right? Or what about that sack that he took right before the half? That's 3 points, and that point, the last play of the game is moot.
Okay.
Did he not put them in position to win the football game?
Yeah, he also put them in position to take points off the board.
How many yards did he throw for at Miami where he'd lost, 5 of the last 7 games? Is that what it was?
Okay.
He threw for 358. Is that washed up?
But you gloss.
Is that reason to kick him out the back?
No, but here's the thing. But you gloss over what he did against Buffalo when he threw for 161, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Is that a reason to throw a parade for him?
Did he have a wide receiver against Buffalo? He did not. He has nobody who can separate. Nobody. He lost Josh Gordon. Gronkowski has become a liability. Not just he's down, he's not quite what he used to be. You don't even want him on the field anymore.
Was Gronk on the field in Miami?
Well,
what about Julian Edelman? Was he on the field?
Josh Gordon.
What about Cordell Patterson?
Josh Gordon was on the field in Miami. He's a dangerous wide receiver who can run past people.
But you said he had a pin on his back.
You said that he had a pin
and you co-signed it, so you cooperated with what I said.
Okay.
But this is what I don't understand. Is that when Tom Brady plays good, nobody mentions Cordell Patterson. Nobody mentions Edelman. Nobody mentions those no-name guys.
I do.
Edelman is not a no-name guy. I'm not going to let you say that.
But that's what I'm saying. But when he loses, he needs help. He's winning Super Bowls with those same guys that he needs help with now. Why?
How many Pro Bowlers were on offense for the New England Patriots? 1, and you said that was a bogus one because Brady shouldn't have made it. So that's the only Pro Bowler on offense.
He shouldn't have.
How many Pro Bowlers on defense?
1.
Do they have a James Harrison in his prime? They do not.
No.
They have a corner who's really good, Stephon Gilmore, and that's it. Period. End of story.
But they really never, since they've gotten rid of, they've only had a one top flight in the last, say, decade since they got rid, and that was Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones is the only legit pass rusher. Guy that says, you know what? Hey, Chandler, go make a play on the quarterback. You don't have to call anything.
I thought Jamie Collins was that too, and he just didn't like him and cut bait.
Well, he was more of
he could make plays all over the field. Right. But he could rush too.
Well, the thing that they didn't like about Jamie Collins is that he freelanced.
Yeah.
And then Coach Belichick,
he wasn't in the system. I agree.
You can't freelance in the system.
And every once in a while, I look up right now for Cleveland, and he's making a play.
He'll make a play in the backfield, but he also let the tight end run unguarded up the seam.
I got it. He did not fit. But now all those cogs are eroded cogs. You know, the talent level has sunk.
Yeah.
This is the worst
and
defense.
so has the other talent level.
Okay, but I'm not saying it's a terrible defense, but it's the worst defense Belichick has put on the field in his 19 years in Foxborough. Okay, so Tom Brady has had to overcome that. Tom Brady has had to overcome what is now the worst receiving core in football. I don't know a worse one.
But when have we ever had to worry about Tom Brady having to overcome a defense or skilled players? Because we never said that because that's what made him great. Now all of a sudden he needs help. Thank you. You're making my argument for me. Yeah, you are.
The question was, how much longer you think he go play?
I give him 1 year. He's going to play 1 year in New England. After that, one of them got to go. Either Coach Belichick's going or he's going. Because, see, he keep putting up that chum out there. Now, Coach Belichick says, look, I'm not worried about next year or the year after. I'm worried about the Jets.
Right.
Tom Brady the one that keeps bringing it up.
He does keep bringing it up.
He keep bringing it up. He kind of old Coach Belichick. You know Coach Belichick, Coach Belichick said, we're going to the Jets.
Right.
He said, I ain't worried about next year.
Yeah.
He said, I ain't promised next year. Tom Brady keep on trying to throw that out there. Coach, I'm going to play.
It's intended strictly for that coach.
Yeah.
And for Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, why you worried about me?
It is.
I've been retired. I've been retired almost 15 years,
Yeah.
Skip.
But he was just gushing about how much he loves football, how he still
Coach
jumps
Belichick
out
love
of bed.
football, too. Coach Belichick said he love it. Said he love coaching new players, getting them right. That's what he does.
Well, so Tom Brady is saying that I'm having as much fun as I've ever had because to me, after that case I just made to you about the defense and the lack of receivers, this is his greatest achievement. I think this is as rewarding a year as he's ever played.
Coach Belichick said, you know what I love? He said, I love getting new guys and putting them in there and showing I can do what I can do with them. Remember, that's what he did with Eric Rowe in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was going to show you. Remember, that's what you said. He was trying to show his genius. So what would he love more than
Eric
anything?
Rowe still on the team?
I'm not talking about that. I don't know what team he's on right now. But what you think will give Coach Belichick the ultimate satisfaction, the ultimate gratification, taking a guy not named Tom Brady and getting to that old bowl, James.
And how long is that going to take?
It don't take him no time. I give him 2 years with anybody, Coach Belichick, I have him there.
2 years.
2 years. Tops. Anyone. Not named Brian Hoyer.
So I believe they will draft a quarterback. He's going to draft a quarterback.
But Skip, they don't take quarterbacks in the first round.
Okay, so I looked it up. So he's drafted 9 quarterbacks other than Tom Brady, and the highest was Jimmy G in round 2. And there were 3 third-rounders, including Jacoby Brissett.
Ryan Mallett, did he take?
He didn't have Ryan Mallett.
Who did he take? He took some guy from. He took Rohan Davey.
He did in the 4th round. Cliff Kingsbury, who's now at USC, 6th round. Who else would you? Oh, Ryan Mallett. He's
Ryan
on here.
Mallett,
You're
yeah.
right. He's a 3rd rounder. I'm sorry. I skipped right over him. And then I don't know why he took Danny Etling in the 7th round last year. So Danny Etling is there, and I never liked Danny Etling at LSU. I never could understand.
Of course not. You don't like anybody that played the SEC if they got to deal with Bama. I know how we go.
I like
talk about.
Manziel.
Can we talk about Alabama tomorrow? Skip? You don't mind?
No, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Can we talk about Alabama tomorrow?
You mean 60-35? That's
No,
going
don't
to
do
be the
that,
final
Skip.
score. Well, that's going to be the
I
final
know what you
score.
try to do, Skip Bayless. You try to spring a surprise, and that way if Oklahoma wins, you think you're going to talk about it. I ain't coming. If Oklahoma wins this game, I'm not coming to work on
I'm giving
Monday.
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to put up 35 points. That's a lot on Coach Saban, right?
I'm not coming
St.
to work.
Nick?
If Oklahoma wins on Saturday,
With the worst defense
What
in
are
the
you gonna
history of
do?
college.
I'm not
Sit there
coming.
for
I'll be
you?
watching you from home, Skip.
Okay.
Okay, good to know.
Is that like a vow? Is that like
Wow.
in country?
100. I'm
Really?
gonna call in. I'm gonna do my show from home. I'm gonna do my part from home.
What do you
Can I
think?
call in?
Jenny, can they pull this off?
I'll just take your seat. I'll talk about Oklahoma plenty.
Tua is not right yet. He's
Tua's fine. I want to know why they made Tua show up for media day and not Kyler.
Kyler was sick.
Ain't nothing. He ain't sick yet, but he about to be.
Yeah, Baker was sick last year and missed media day.
Oh yeah, he was sick because them dogs will go put that thing on him. Them Georgia dogs put that thing on him.
They
We'll talk
did.
plenty of college, I'm sure, tomorrow. And let's make sure you do come on Monday. We'll see if
Nope.
we've got a game. But we are going to move on to the Steelers because James,
He
he's
knows a
legend
thing or
there.
two.
What does he think about Coach Tomlin should be on the hot seat? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
The Steelers are still in the playoff hunt, but they need some help. The easiest way for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs is beat the Bengals on Sunday and hope the Ravens lose to the Browns. The Steelers have lost 4 of their last 5, including a heartbreaker against the Saints, which included a fake punt late in the 4th quarter that did not work. Joined once again by James Harrison. James, who is most to blame for the Steelers' disappointing season?
I would have to give that to Mike Tomlin, and the reason I give it to him because he's the head coach. He has to go out there and get this team ready. You've had instances where the defense plays well, you had instances where the offense plays well, and you know that they're capable of doing that. If you look at the defense that he's actually built, I think he has 6 or 7 first-rounders. He has a couple second-rounders through either draft or trade. So he's put together a defense that should be capable of going out there and stopping offenses. And I think at the end of it, the Achilles heel has been the defense not able to come through in the end. So, I have to put that on Mike Tomlin, even though he has, won a significant amount of games. He's won Super Bowls. But if you even look at that and you go back, the Super Bowl that he did win was basically a Bill Cowher-based team.
Right.
the team that actually went in 2010 was still a majority of Cowher. And since then, I think he's reached the AFC Championship game one time. And over the course of the last 2 years, he's lost just the first game to Jacksonville, where the defense gave up 40, 50-something points. And, this year they have a possibility of not making it. So all that has to go on Coach Tomlin.
Yeah, I'm going to give the lion's share of the blame to Coach Tomlin also, because I don't think he did a good enough job of controlling the auxiliary noise that was emanating from his locker room. I said this early on, James. You played 14 years? 15. I played 14. I never heard, because the one thing that we don't do in the locker room, we talk about another man's money.
Never.
And when it comes to a contract, we always side with the players. Definitely. This was the first time I can honestly say I'd heard players side with the organization over a player about getting his money. And they were speaking. I'm like, what is this about? And that's what I was like. I remember talking to you, Skip. I was like, I don't know how Le'Veon comes back in there, knowing how the offensive linemen feel about him and how they hold him accountable. The same offense, some of the same offensive players had a problem with James Harrison after he got released. They want him to go sit on this couch, not do anything, not get a chance to win a Super Bowl. So he's like, nah, I'm going to go on up here. This team won't me. I'm going to go on up here and try to get, I'm going to get a little money too. If I get a chance to play for a Super Bowl. I think Mike got to do a better job because, man, being quick to point them fingers. He needs to do a better job. What he should have done from the beginning, like, look, guys, until Le'Veon gets back, we're not going to discuss Le'Veon Bell. We're going to talk about the guys that we have in this locker room that's going to be here from the jump. So if and when he comes back, we'll discuss that situation. So anytime his name comes up, I would prefer you refer them to me. We're not going to discuss it. They discussed this early on. The organization also bears some culpability because they told Le'Veon Bell what else did they need to see? The guy played till the ink was dry on his contract. They franchised him. Le'Veon, I think, came to the realization, I see what y'all trying to do. Y'all want to put another 400 carries on me, use me up, and then say, nah, we good. He said, no, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to sit this whole year out. Skip, they got too many voices coming out of that locker room. They're not a very united team.
They're not.
Because one, okay, we're going to stay in the locker room. We're not coming out for the anthem. Coaches go stand, and then we got guys at the end of the tunnel, and guys need to see the flag. So there's a lot going on. But until Mike Tomlin sets the temperature of this room, say, this is how we're going to do it. This is not how we're going to do it. You're going to have these little fractions. You're going to have guys speaking out, and it's not conducive for you to have a winning organization. You win a few games here or there, but they vastly underachieved. They're one of the most disappointing teams in all of football.
All right, so I'm going to ask James a question, just to be fair to Mike Tomlin. And I'm not saying this is the case, but do you feel like you still have any lingering bitterness toward Mike on the way they handled your departure from Pittsburgh?
No, I asked for a release, like I said, early in the year, and they didn't give that to me. If they had gave me my release early in the year, I probably would have never been in New England.
Because there were times I remember that I read you showed up and you didn't even know that you weren't dressing for that game.
It was times where I practiced all week and show up, and I'm thinking I'm going to be dressed. Uniform's not in the locker.
So, now, that said, as many times as I've said on the show, I love Mike Tomlin from a distance, and if I could play in the NFL, I'd want to play for that guy, but I don't know him inside the locker room, and I'm with you and both of you. He does not have control of his football team, and it shows on the football field occasionally in the lack of discipline and focus that they play with, or without, I should say, because if you boil down what's wrong, and again, to your point, they're ranked 15th in points allowed. It's got to be better. That's not steel curtain Pittsburgh defense. This defense, and again, it came alive against Brady, and it came alive a little bit against the Saints. I thought it played pretty well those two games. But you don't have anything to show for it because you're 8-6-1, and you're just clinging to the last life that you have, the playoff-wise.
You lost 4 or 5.
You have. You've lost 4 or 5 games, and yet in those last 5 games, you went to the fourth quarter, and all 5 of them tied or leading, and you lost 4 of 5. Okay, somebody's got to pay for that. A lot of times, you give the game away because they're minus 10 in turnover ratio. And you know and I know, you guys have been around good teams before, you can't be minus 10 and be a Super Bowl type team, right?
You'll be minus the playoffs.
You'll be minus the playoffs. So why are they minus 10? Because they gave the ball away 25 times. Why was that? Because Ben threw 16 interceptions and they lost 9 fumbles, and 2 of them were Ben's lost fumbles. So it's not clean enough. You know, they have all this firepower. They're 4th in points scored, and Ben's, 3rd in QBR. So there's lots of
to throw for 5,000 yards, isn't he? He's like 4,800 yards or something.
48, 42. That ranks first in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it got you 8-6-1. It got you a tie against Cleveland. You can't do that. It got you a loss at Denver. That's no good. And you know what happened at the end of that game.
And Oakland.
Really? You lost to Oakland. Okay.
Really?
Okay. So, is it fair for us to conclude that Mike Tomlin deserves to lose his job? Yeah, it is fair. Do you think he really will? I don't, because they just don't do that.
I don't
right?
think, and I don't really think it's fair to say that he should lose his job. That's just really not something the Steelers do. As you see, I think worst case scenario, he'll be playing his last year on his contract next year, and if things don't pan out the way they want him to pan out,
Tomlin,
they'll let him go. I don't see the Steelers firing him. That's just not in. That's just not what that organization does.
They've had 3 coaches since 1950, and all of them retired. Chuck Noll retired, Bill Cowher retired, and then Mike Tomlin got the job. He's in year 15, year 16 right now. So I think he's the second longest tenured with one team behind Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick's been there since 2000. Mike Tomlin's been there since 07?
07.
So I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. But there's too many things, Skip. The mere fact that, Ben speaking the way he does is calling out his teammates. Antonio Brown recording. I mean, you beat Kansas City and the dude is Facebook Live. What other teams
going to put you in put Tomlin in a bad spot because Tomlin's ripping on New England.
Right.
Yeah.
Can that change, though, if he just suddenly is stricter, he sets the temperature, the tone differently? Can players adapt to that, or is this just who he is?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if players can adapt to that because you've been used to a certain standard for so long that if you try and change that, now the players are really going to revolt against you.
Yep.
That's why it's easy to be nicer. You come in and you lay the gauntlet down, because I can always, pull the reins in.
Right.
It's hard to tighten the reins once I've been a certain way for an extended period of time. See, Coach Coughlin, like Coach Belichick, it's easy for Coach Belichick because he's already established who he is and what he is. So if he wants to give you a day off, you can accept that. But, man, Mike, you better get a hold of this. You got too many guys talking and doing all this.
So why do I say I want to play for him? Because he seems like he's the ultimate players coach, and now it's gone way to a fault, right?
I love the matter-of-factness.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, matter-of-fact, Mike.
Yeah.
Danger of
I mean, did you?
Oh, you say that? I mean, what's going on, Jay?
No,
he wasn't matter of fact with you, huh?
I'm just. That's what I'm like I said, I'm not going to pour nothing on it, but it wasn't matter of fact with me. So I mean.
Okay, did you enjoy his company in the locker room? Just being around him. Was he fun to play for?
Yeah, he was fun to play for. But like I said, when it came down towards towards the end, and I'm trying to get straight answers, I can't get nothing. So that's really like the last year or so. That's really where we had our our differences.
The truth is, he revealed himself to be like most of the coaches in this league, right?
I don't think I didn't have that problem with other coaches. You know what I'm saying? I got straight answers. Even I thought I was getting straight answers from him until it got to that point to where I'm like, hey, like what is it? Like, tell me. I got a plan for you. That was his thing. Well, what's the plan? Because I'm sitting on the sideline. Even to the point to where. I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Mr. Rooney. I'm talking to Art, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, can y'all just release me? Like, he's like, no, he has a plan for you. I'm like, well, Mr. Rooney, what's the plan? He's like, I don't know what the plan is, but he tells me he has a plan for you. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to, how to take that.
Well, Belichick had a plan for you, right?
Yeah.
And I wish Belichick had a plan for you this year. I wish you were still there. Because I think you could, seriously, can they rush the passer at all?
I couldn't take another year. I did Cincinnati away from my kids, and I realized it was going to be that, and I couldn't take another year.
Well, then good for you.
Yeah.
It's good to have your perspective, because it is nice to have that insight. All right, but also, James, we want to get your take on the Cowboys.
Yep.
Are they actually Super Bowl contenders?
No.
This could be interesting.
He knows.
He's already giving us a preview. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Let's talk about those Cowboys, though. They clinched the NFC East on Sunday. Dallas is locked in as the 4th seed. It will host a playoff game next week. Despite being shut out by the Colts 2 weeks ago, the Cowboys have still won 6 out of their last 7. James Harrison still with us. Yes, the record speaks for itself.
Well, not according to this guy, but go ahead.
Or maybe this guy. So, James, how far will Dallas go in the playoffs?
To whichever team they travel to next, because they can't play worth nothing if they ain't at home.
Okay.
So they may get lucky and win one at home. When was the last time they won a playoff game? How many was it? 10, 12, 15?
Long time ago.
I don't know.
Long time.
So
2014.
So if they're able to do
did.
that,
They beat
because
Detroit.
they happen to play well at home, but once they leave out of Dallas, wherever they go.
James Harrison is predicting a home playoff win for the Dallas Cowboys over probably the Seattle Seahawks.
That ain't happening. Once you find it.
I said, possibly. I said, possibly. If they make it out of there, the next time they leave Dallas, that's it. It's done.
Okay.
No.
They did win at Philadelphia. How did they beat Carson Wentz?
And done.
Carson Wentz is the best young quarterback in the history of football, says this guy. They beat Carson Wentz at Philly. I don't know how. I don't know.
How many different ways you want me to say one and done? See, I think you're trying to walk me into a perjury trap. You want me to lie.
We don't want that.
You know what I mean? You know, I
lie.
always want to get the perjury trap on the debate show. Skip, you trying to make me out of a liar. I told you that one and done. Seattle has an opportunity to tie the 2010, I think it was 2010 Patriots and 2011 San Francisco 49ers with the fewest turnovers in the season. They're currently at 10. Don't turn the ball over. That's to be the fewest in the season.
Bring them on. We got them.
Let me ask you a question, Skip Bayless. You love Dak. Do you trust Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson a little bit more?
I'll take Dak at home in a playoff game.
Against Russell Wilson?
Yep, I will, and I love Russell Wilson. I love my team, too, and I love my team with a big old chip on its shoulder pads because they've been on a revenge tour all year, and they got to get some revenge. It's time to get revenge. I'm not sure it's Seattle, but I'm assuming the Seahawks will beat Arizona. I'm assuming that.
Oh, yeah.
And if that's what happens, great for us because here comes Seattle. They won there late last year. They embarrassed them. It was the Dez Bryant drop game, and Dez Bryant's not a Dallas Cowboy anymore.
Stop talking about Dez.
And
Dez
then
rested.
Early this year at Seattle, it was just a debacle because Dallas should have won that game, and that was the Zeke drop game. He just gave it to him. Dropped a big third down pass that could have broken for 60 yards.
And Russell, they wasn't playing like they are now. They weren't playing like they are now, Skip.
You know what? They're not because then they had Earl Thomas, who was the star of the game that day, and he is no more.
Have the defense taken a step back? So you're saying the defense is taking a step back?
No.
I didn't think so.
My team has all the right formula to make a deep playoff run, and my team is wildly inconsistent, but you better hope they don't just suddenly put it all together because my team can run the football and it can play defense.
They can't run it like
Does
Seattle.
Does that work?
No, they don't work because they don't know how to do that nowhere else but home.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Can they run
did do it at Philadelphia.
If you don't mind me,
Philadelphia, that don't even count.
Can you don't mind me
A lot of
asking,
people did
can
stuff
they
in
run
Philly.
the football better than Seattle?
Yes.
Hold on. How?
Okay, wait. Do you want Zeke or Carson and whoever else they got? I don't know. The other kid was hurt the
All
other
I'm saying is that the number one running team in all of football is not the Dallas Cowboys.
Who's leading the league in rushing, though?
Oh, your guy as an individual, but the team that leads.
In a playoff game, I'll take the individual over the team, the committee any day.
Hold on. So you
bring the committee in.
Now, I love
my team can stop the run, too.
I love how you did this, Skip.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me the quarterback is the most important position. Clearly, Seattle has the advantage at the quarterback position.
Okay, I'll give you a slight advantage there.
Slight?
But I still love my guy.
Hold on. A guy that's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He's won enough.
Slight
You need to stop,
against 2
Skip.
Super Bowls.
You hope, Dak.
You know what? My guy, I don't know how he
many
did
playoff
this.
wins
My
Dak
guy,
got?
says this guy, he cannot throw. Yet against Philadelphia in the game of the year, again, albeit at Jerry World, my guy in the fourth quarter and overtime threw for 243 yards and two touchdowns. 3 touchdowns.
One time.
3. One time.
This year.
Look at
Well,
Russ.
how does it? Huh?
And Russ, I trust.
He's really good. No, he's really good.
36-4. That's where he's at right now.
How about
Skip.
my defense? How about the tackling Dutchman? How about Jalen Smith? You don't think those two guys fly around?
Ooh, they fly. Were they flying when Seattle bust their head?
Huh? Well, they
Seattle.
weren't playing when they
Yeah,
busted
they were.
Uh-uh.
Oh, Russ. And Russ, I trust.
At Seattle. I
Yep.
thought you meant last year.
Yep.
Jerry World.
Nope. This year.
Huh?
Got him.
The Dutchman wasn't playing yet at that point.
Dutchman don't want none of us.
Yeah, wolf hunter. He's gonna be hunting some wolves. Yeah.
Hold on. Did you see what? Did you see what? Did you see what Marlon Mack did through him? Marlon Mack.
I did, and they just didn't show up because they didn't need that game.
Oh,
They didn't
There
need
was
the
no
game, so they didn't
history.
show
There
up,
was no revenge. It was just, who are these guys? We got
now
a two-game lead. We got a 2-game lead in the NFC East.
You said
Yeah.
you wanted Indy to lose the game to Jacksonville, so they'd have something to play for and to fight for, and it would get your Cowboys' attention. Well, they got their undivided attention.
Who won the NFC East? Help me out. My team
That
did.
weak
With
division.
one
Yes,
game
they
to go,
did.
they won the East.
The second worst
Yeah.
division in football.
Yeah. What do you keep saying about my defense? You think it's amazing. You've used the word, the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe has called my defense amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But what if I call your offense?
Yeah.
Pedestrian.
Junk.
Mundane.
Garbage. Yep.
Yep.
Lot of
Anemic.
things.
And I don't know how, but my offense against Jacksonville scored 40 points. Not off
Everybody's scoring
turnovers.
points against Jacksonville
Well, not
this
like
year, though.
40. Yeah.
Skip.
Can
What-
any offense drive the ball better than my offense?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, if you score 40 points against Jacksonville, why are you 24th in scoring?
I don't know.
You do know.
How did you win the East by 2 games, really?
You didn't win those East by 2 games. You won
Well, I
game.
mean, it's over. They're
it's
up
over,
1 with
but
1 to go.
You make it seem like you ran away with the division.
Well, we did. We were up 2 with 3 to go.
No, Chicago ran away with the division.
Okay.
New Orleans
I'll
ran
take my
away.
team over Chicago.
New Orleans ran away with the division.
How did my team hold Drew Brees to 3 of 11 on 3rd down? Is that good? You should
That's
know
good.
that.
That is very good. Listen,
So
Well,
how do you explain that?
how did they let Marcus Mariota
explain
go
that?
10 or 14?
Didn't know him, didn't care.
Oh, no, they didn't know.
Didn't know him.
They didn't know Drew Brees
They
either.
don't.
You
Yeah.
make it seem like they play Drew Brees
Yeah,
every
but
year.
that was Thursday night football, and everybody, including Shannon Sharpe, saying they're going to get embarrassed.
Okay, what about that Monday night football
Embarrassed.
game?
Nobody said they're going to get embarrassed by Marcus Mariota.
Oh, that was a Monday night
They
game?
went 11 or 14. on
Monday
Thursday
night.
Yeah.
Everybody, when I was growing up, I didn't want to play on no Thursday night. I wanted to play on Monday night football.
Yeah.
and they was playing at home on Thursday. New Orleans had to travel all that, so
Yeah, short week.
short week.
Really?
Yep.
So if my team ends up at New Orleans in the next game after they beat Seattle, I wouldn't write them off.
I
you don't
would.
think they have
I'm
the
writing them
formula?
off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You wouldn't? Would you bet on it though?
I would.
Woo.
Depending on how many points, I'll probably be like,
No, ain't no points.
No, we don't do no points.
They've
Oh, we
lost
don't
their
do-
last 7
Straight up.
playoff road games. Skip.
Last 7.
I know, but it's a whole new cast. I mean, what?
The last
No,
win was
seriously.
92.
Okay.
What?
But wait a
the
second.
road.
Okay. Where was Dak Prescott in 1992? Help me out. Where was Zeke in
Hold on,
1992?
Skip. Hold on,
That's the
Skip.
year they
Hold on.
Where was Zach Martin?
Hold on.
Where
Where was
last
the-
year?
where
Where were
was
they at
the
last
tackling
year? Where were they at
Dutchman?
last year?
Where was he in
They were there last year.
I know where Dak was 5 years ago, getting his eyes beat out in Tuscaloosa.
He did.
What about that, Skip Bayless?
Yeah, and for a while, Dak Prescott lifted that team, which was an under-talented Mississippi State team, to number 1 in the nation.
Yeah, who
for
they
a couple
played.
of weeks.
And then, guess what? He was number 1 in the nation, and then he had to go to Tuscaloosa. And when he left Tuscaloosa, was he still number 1?
Well, doesn't that happen to just about everybody except Johnny Manziel?
Chad Kelly.
Huh?
Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly.
Cam
Chad
Newton.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
They threw parties on St. Nick's.
Yeah,
defense. I
but
don't
your
know.
guy wasn't invited to the party.
I thought we were talking about the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
it always comes
Your
back.
Cowboys are going home.
Tuscaloosa.
Your Cowboys are going home.
You know,
First playoff game.
Every time we discuss this, you get more and more scared. I hear it in your voice.
Scared of what?
Seattle?
Russ.
Yeah.
And Russ,
Seattle.
I trust.
Yeah, do you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly.
yeah, you can have Russell Westbrook at quarterback. You can have Russell Wilson. You can have anybody.
You know his wife
You
be
can have
saying
Russell
that song.
Stover at quarterback.
Russell Wilson say he about to level up.
Yeah,
Level up, level up.
yeah, okay. I got this. It sets up perfectly, and my team is 7-1 at home. To your point, 7-1.
This year they have been very dominant.
Oh, Marcus Mariota threw a party in there.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some big upset, and they'll have another home game. You never know.
No, y'all ain't getting no more home game.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
How you gonna get a home game, Skip? You the 4th seed.
Can't.
No.
Can't.
Well, I don't know. It's been one of those years. Crazy.
It has.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It ain't been that crazy.
It's been crazy.
But
for
your day
this guy.
coming.
He's been up
Your
and
day
down.
coming, buddy. I want that energy. That energy that you came out here.
That same energy.
I want that energy a week from, when would it be? It's going to be on Sunday,
Yeah.
right? So it'll be a week from next Monday,
Yeah.
right? I want that energy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
'Cause I got this.
Oh, okay.
You know, I got
okay.
this.
I don't want no excuses. I don't want nothing about no calls. I don't want about no Dak Prescott. He 15 years old. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no Coach Clapp. I'm out of this team because Coach Clapp is killing me. I don't want none of that, Skip. I want that energy that you came out here with the other day. You looked into the Cowboy. How about that Cowboy? Got the Christmas tree all decorated with Dak jerseys. I want that.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I
good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
That's the energy that I want a week from Monday.
Yep.
Now, Monday, I want you to have that energy. I don't know. I might not come on Monday.
Which
This Monday or
Yeah.
the next Monday?
This because of
Got a
Oklahoma.
toothache.
You're just gonna take
Alabama.
I feel a
Mondays off
toothache coming
from
on.
now on.
No, it's a migraine.
You're going to miss 2 straight Mondays then.
I gotta
There's
make-
no way you're coming in after Dallas just obliterates Seattle.
It's not happening.
Obliterates. So you giving him points on the bet?
Hold on, but you want points, but you
I'm not going to give you any points.
Hold on, but
you said this is going to be an embarrassment.
but you told me but you want points in New Orleans.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they're the 1 seed, right?
But y'all the 4 seed, which is higher than the 5 seed, which Seattle would be. So I'm gonna need 3 points. I'm gonna need 3.
You can't even get 3 points? You said they go obliterate? Well, come on now.
No.
You got 3?
3 points.
Not even 3.
You
You
got
at home.
hold on. You
It's
got
3
the
points
best
at
back in
home.
football.
What do you think the line will be on that game?
3.5.
3.5 Dallas?
Yep.
Or 3.5 Seattle?
3.5 Dallas.
Yeah. I'll bet it'll be closer to pick 'em.
Really?
I want them 3 points. I'm gonna need them.
Why?
Because you say that's the best running
You
back
got-
in football.
you have-
You got the best young
You
quarterback.
don't care about the spread. You got
The more
confidence in your team. That's
Yeah,
better
the more
than
we
the
talk
spread.
about
Yeah.
it, the more I hear panic in your voice.
You told me, hold on.
I hear panic.
Hold on.
I do.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson didn't throw in the 4th quarter in overtime 17 to 20, 243 and 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson didn't do that.
But he lights people up in the 4th quarter.
He gonna light y'all up the whole game.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I'm good.
Gonna be like a Roman
Yep.
candle.
Yeah,
Okay.
I might give
Sparks
you points.
everywhere.
I got to see what the spread is.
We
but
gotta
I'll give you points.
wait until
Yep.
we have
smoke
more
on.
time.
Yep.
I gotta start mentally
James Harrison
preparing.
predicted a Dallas victory.
No, he
Great
said
James
possible.
Harrison.
He said possible.
Oh, then he amended to possible.
Possible.
I think you're predicting a victory.
I'm not really predicting the victory, but if they were to, by some chance, like I say, the sun shines on every dog's ass once in a while, get that win,
They going home.
the next game, they go,
happening.
Really?
it's over.
I would Skip. I want that energy because I know you passionate, Skip, and I know it hurt. See, losses hurt you a little bit more than winning feels good to you.
What happened in Dak's lone playoff game that he's played?
He took that L.
He threw for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns against the great Aaron Rodgers and brought them back from 21.
Aaron Rodgers don't play
wait a second,
defense.
21 to 3 down, brought them all the way back.
Why
to
were they
31
down?
all. 31
James,
all.
why were they down? I'm trying to figure out. Hold on.
Because
Did
they
Dak
didn't
not get
have
the
the
ball?
tackling Dutchman.
Oh, so
They
now-
didn't have Jalen
They
Smith.
had Sean Lee.
Yeah.
You told me Sean Lee was the guy.
The
Well,
greatest, the best.
He's
One
got a
of the
terminally pulled
At this
hamstring.
point, it's
You
like,
said Sean Lee was better than
terminally
Keekly and
pulled
Wack.
hamstring. I ain't never heard of that one.
Well, he does. It's just
That's a new one. I gotta use it.
end. Yep.
all right, James.
Maybe Mike Tomlin will sign Sean Lee next year. I don't know. He could use him. Well,
We'll
He
see.
can't stay on the field.
We'll see. Yeah, at this point, I don't know if
we need
anyone's
to
gonna
let
want
him go on.
Oh, Jersey's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to have you with us, James. We are moving to the Lakers. Are they going to be in trouble without LeBron? He's dealing with an injury. We'll discuss that with Jim Jackson.
Here we go.
No mercy.
Well, LeBron is day to day after an MRI showed he strained his groin in the 3rd quarter of the Lakers' win against the Warriors on Christmas. He has already been ruled out for tonight's game in Sacramento. That will end LeBron's streak of 116 straight regular season games. And yesterday he tweeted, "Dodged a bullet. Sheesh. Praise to the Almighty above." Back in no time. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Jim Jackson. Good to see
Merry
you
Christmas. Happy
this
holidays.
morning. Happy holidays.
All right. Merry Christmas,
All right, Jim. How big of a deal is LeBron's injury?
It just depends on how long he's out. I mean, in regards to, I think, Shay, you understand this. As you get older, the muscle injuries are the ones that start to come up more frequently, even for a guy like LeBron James.
Yeah.
I mean, now you go back in his career, 2014-15, he missed 8 games. That's the most he's missed. But I think you got to be careful with this one just because of the way he plays and the amount of wear and tear that's on his body, that you would ensure that he doesn't re-injure this at some point during the season or during the playoff. But I think it's a critical point, too, where in regards to if you look at their schedule coming up, the next 7-8 games, you know, Thunder are in there, got to go to Sacramento.
Sacramento twice.
Sacramento twice. I mean, you have one at home and one there, which is tonight. You do have the Cavs in there, but you had a tough game at the Mavericks, at Utah, Clippers tomorrow. So the way the Western Conference is, they're currently at 4th. You know, you could drop down a little bit. Now, keep in mind, too, Rondo being out. How long is he out? That adds more to the equation as well in regards to, especially those road games. Do you have a guy that can control tempo, get guys in place like they did the other evening when LeBron went out at Golden State? So I would be cautious, and I think LeBron will monitor his body in order to be the best that he can be, not just now, but later in the season that it doesn't reoccur.
So you played how many years?
14.
14 years. How many pulls did you have of various muscles?
I was fortunate that, like, one, I never had a hamstring pull. Or a tear. I didn't have a groin. I had soreness, but again, I'm not logging the minutes like that man did. You know what I mean? So I was fortunate.
Calf pull?
Oh, yeah, I had calf pulls.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Did they start to add up in your 13th and 14th year?
As I got older, even if I wasn't playing the same amount of minutes, it took me a little bit longer to recover from little things like that than it did, of course, when you're 21, 22 years old.
Right.
Even though I did the right things as far as working out, stretching, things like that, let me tell you something, Father Time at some point is going to catch up with you.
Shannon?
His Father Time, now he gonna come knock on your door, he gonna want some sugar. If you got sugar, he'll come back tomorrow, he won't catch up. And then he want to buy a pair of shirt, or he gonna keep coming, he gonna keep knocking.
He still can't find Brady's.
Oh, yeah, he moved in the neighborhood.
trying.
Moved right next door to Brady.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He
But
rang
he knocked
the
on
doorbell.
Wait, he knocked on LeBron's door the other night
No, he didn't.
at Golden State.
Freak injury, Skip.
Really?
And then on Sunday again, because it's his 34th birthday.
Yeah.
This Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good
Celebrate,
point.
too.
So, real quick, did you have any other major injuries?
Yeah, well, I tore my ankle in my third year, third-degree sprain.
Tore your ankle?
Yeah, tore it up, tore it
Okay.
apart.
How?
Actually playing New Jersey, Jason Williams, who played at the time, I came across the lane, stepped on his foot,
No.
and that was it. So actually they told me it would have been better if I'd have broke my ankle because ligaments don't heal as fast as
And
bone.
it cost you.
It cost me pretty much everything. I mean, it cost me my athleticism. And I was only 25 at the time when that happened. Wow. I was fortunate to play through it, but I wasn't the same player because I'm a right-handed shooter. Jumped off my left leg.
Right.
That took away a lot of my explosion. So I totally had to change how I played because
All
of
of
that.
which is why LeBron is as blessed as any superstar ever. He is he's the most durable superstar ever. And a lot of that, I'm knocking on wood for him. A lot of it's just like luck or fate or, you just don't step on the wrong ankle, right?
Correct.
Or foot, I mean, yeah.
I think the thing is, this is a huge deal. He's the most important player in the NBA. I think the goal should be do not lose any ground. When he comes back, you should be no worse than the 4th seed. Skip, you're asking an awful lot because at home, you can keep your head above water with some of these guys. It's when you go on the road because their crowd is not going to get you motivated like your home crowd. And as you mentioned, with Rondo being out, because Rondo could control pace, he can control tempo. He's more in line with running the offense kind of like Bron in the half-court set. Yeah, most point guards can push the pace, can get the ball, kick it out ahead, and, get either. But it's when you that slow down, when you're in that half-court set, can you run the offense? And I believe that was the reason why they were able to hold that lead once Bron went out, because Rondo, understanding, is a true old-school point guard.
He is.
Look, it's hard to win in this league without your best players. You need a lot. Because think about it, Skip, when Steph hurt his groin, even though the Golden State had KD, they struggled.
Yep.
There is no KD on this Lakers team minus LeBron.
No.
So we should expect them to struggle somewhat. But like I said, if they can maintain, when LeBron gets back, be it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or however long he's gone, if they're no worse than when he left them, that would be a win, I believe.
So, given that this team is made up of kids and cast-offs, the Rondo loss is almost as big as the LeBron loss.
Correct.
Because they don't have an anchor now. They don't have any steadying force on who can just take it over and say, let's do it this way.
Correct.
Again, Rondo's going to play way slower than the lineups with LeBron and Lonzo. Because, again, going into the game the other night, I didn't check to see if he still is. LeBron is leading the league in fast break points, and that's because of the pace they play.
Right.
And Lonzo Ball contributes a lot to that, right?
Right.
Because he's going to get it up the floor fast and get LeBron in 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, and nobody can stop him.
Right.
In those, right?
Because they got so many guys, Skip, that can take the ball off the rim. They got Lonzo, they got Kuz, they got Brandon Ingram. So LeBron doesn't necessarily have to have the ball. He can get out on the wing and get an easy layup or a dunk.
What you got to be careful of is this, though. What the beauty about what Rondo did the other night is when Golden State tried to make a run, Rondo was there to calm him down and get him back in
Slow
play.
it down. Yep.
So now, if he's not there, who does that? And also, the tendency is when your best player is gone, people try to take on a role that they're not accustomed to. Okay? So what can't happen is now Brandon Ingram, we know the ball's going to be in your hand a little bit more, but you still got to do what you do. Kuzma, we know what your game is. It's cutting, it's running, it's energy. You can't try to do too much. Hart, if you still try to play it's going to be a little bit different because you're not going to have that other playmaker, but you still got to play your role.
Right.
If you try to get out of that, especially when you're on the road, it's going to be tough to maintain the continuity that you've built up to that point. So I'm interested to see the ancillary players on how they react to LeBron not being, if they try to go outside of what they do well, which could ultimately hurt them.
So I hate to say this because I'm his biggest fan, but all of a sudden Lonzo Ball moves on to the hot seat tonight, right? Because he's going to have to run the show.
Right.
He's going to have to play more like he played last year when he had some triple-doubles last year. This is one where you need to have a triple-double. And what happened in the NCAA tournament that night in Memphis when he went up against De'Aaron Fox? What happened? Again, Lonzo's mom had just suffered her stroke, and he was a little distracted because his father and brothers weren't able to come to the game.
Right.
But he got embarrassed by De'Aaron Fox, and could that happen again tonight? Because he's going to have to deal with him.
Because De'Aaron Fox is playing really well.
He is
Skip.
playing really well.
And
And their
you know,
team has been surprisingly good.
And he wants to show, look,
Yeah.
they'll always be linked. They play the same position.
will, yeah.
One went 2, I think Fox went, 5, 8? So he's like, hold on. I was the best point guard in this draft. I don't know what the Lakers was thinking. So I'm gonna show you, Lakers and Magic. I'm gonna show you what you missed out on.
So given how well that Rondo played the other night, all of a sudden, this is a big night for Lonzo Ball.
It
Just
is.
to reestablish
But
who he
he
is.
can't get caught up into, I got to compete with Fox. What he has to focus in on is, I got to run this team, okay? I have to run this team. I got to have low turnovers, play good defense, get guys in positions where they can be successful. If I have a shot, knock it down.
He's gotta
but
knock
he
it
can't
down.
get into the one-on-one competition with De'Aaron, because De'Aaron Fox will have more chances to score.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
He
Okay.
looked to score.
Oh, no.
They count on his score.
Exactly.
Lonzo does have one huge advantage, literally huge. He's 6'7" to, what's De'Aaron, 6'3" maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You always,
Okay.
I forget how big he is. You're right. Like
6'7".
Yeah.
Could you post him up occasionally? Sure, you could.
Look at LeBron. Got a head full of hair.
I mean, just crazy.
Head full of hair, you said, Scap. Head full of.
Is it his?
Yes, it's head. What you mean is it his?
Sure?
Yeah. Look at that. Head
Did you
full.
start talking about his hair?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Because he got a head full. They be trying to hate on him, talking about he going bald. He not.
Really?
No, you see that?
I from above it, I always see this maze of skin, right?
Whatever, Skip Bayless.
I do.
I'm talking about right there on the side. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Thick, luscious locks.
Yeah?
Anything else you want
Maybe
to say
he
about
went
his
to the
hair?
guy Brady went to.
And Jason Witten.
And Jason Witten.
Jason Witten.
And Phillip Rivers. All of them been going.
They've been going to some guy.
Urlacher was looking like Mr. Clean.
All different.
And now he looking like Urlacher was Mr. Clean yesterday, and now he Fabio today.
Just wanted to mix it up.
And like we don't know. No, nobody know anything.
No, but he promoted on a commercial, though.
Yeah, good for
Bosley.
him. He probably got paid.
Bald head. How you got a bald head on Monday and you got Fabio hair on Wednesday, and we don't know nothing?
For a lot of money.
Ain't nobody gonna say anything about this.
He feel better about himself.
Oh, boy.
Look at LeBron.
34
Grow
years
your hair,
old on
Bron.
Sunday.
34.
Yeah, he's,
Hair still
That's
growing.
old, man.
No, it ain't.
34?
34.
He's played
Hold on.
55,527 minutes?
Oh, that's old.
lot.
So
He got a
if,
lot more to go, too.
but if 34 old, 41 ancient, huh?
That's a
I don't know.
different story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay,
Very
well,
there.
Different
Jim,
game.
thank you for joining us. Guys, why is Ndamukong Suh poking people in the eye? That's
good question.
See this video? And then why is Larry Fitzgerald okay with
Yeah,
it?
that's
We'll
a better
discuss what's going on next.
No mercy.
The Rams blew out the Cardinals on Sunday, but the most shocking moment has been this video that shows Ndamukong Suh apparently trying to poke Larry Fitzgerald in the eye during the game. Of course, this isn't the first time Suh has done something dirty in his 9-year career. Fitz defended Suh yesterday, tweeting this, wanted to address the video circulating from Sunday. I've known Ndamukong since his college days, and he's as close a friend of mine. Quality as a person matches his quality as a player. That video is just a friend clowning with another friend. No negative intent. It's all love. Shannon, are you surprised by the response from Fitz?
I was, but you know me, Skip. I've known Fitz for a while. Consider him a good friend. He calls me Unc. So I reached out to him, and I asked him to tell me what was up, and this is what he responded. He said, no, really, that's my dude. We were just effing around, in all honesty. If a dude poked me in my eye, even as mild-mannered as I am, I'm not going for that bleep.
Well, the dude did poke him in the eye.
Right.
Right?
So I
And
guess
it looked like a real poke, right?
Well, judging by Larry's reaction, he thought they were joking because he turned and just walked away.
Yeah.
He didn't get all upset. He's like, man, you poked me in my eye. Dude, what's going on with you? Now, I play with guys that friends on the field, and, we might grab each other's face masks. We might bump into each other like we try to knock each other down. But he said, and I got to take him at his word because, like I said, I've known him for a while, and I know this was going to be off the record, so he could have told me, and I would have, he had a problem with it. But he said he didn't have a problem with it. He says he's his friend. I think the thing is because we look at Ndamukong Suh's history, Skip. Because there were times that Larry says he was joking around, so I have no reason to believe that he wasn't. But there are times he was stomping on people's head. He wasn't joking around.
No.
He was poking people in the eye in which he wasn't joking around.
That is correct.
Or he was doing things that were unwarranted on the football field in which he wasn't joking. Given by Larry's reaction to how he handled that situation, I tend to believe, Larry, that, hey, this was two friends having a good time. Now, that ain't how I react. That's not how I would have reacted with a good friend. And hopefully my friends know that, we can't play around like that. But if Larry says they were joking around, Skip, I have no reason to believe that he's lying.
Okay, just to reiterate Suh's history here, he's been fined 8 times in his career and suspended twice for a grand total of 3 games. But remember the Thanksgiving Day stomp. Yeah, right? Well, his history screams he's highly capable of poking you in the eye.
Correct.
What got me about this one was he's doing it right in front of the referee. So it was so blatant that it was almost comical, except the poke wasn't comical to me. It looked like, because Larry winces from it. He recoils from it because he's getting poked in the eye. Was that not a dangerous poke in the eye?
Looked
right?
like it.
Didn't it look like it?
Yeah.
Was Larry ready for it?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't ready for it. So to me, Larry Fitzgerald, as you well know, is the ultimate good guy in the National Football League.
Is.
And I believe Larry wants no part of anything controversial, right? So he's going to defend his friend, even though maybe in his heart of hearts he's thinking, well, I don't know for a fact, but was he just clowning around? There are certain things you clown with, and there are certain things like getting poked in the eye. You just don't clown with,
Well, Skip,
right?
he sent me another text. We on there, so clearly he's watching.
Good.
I've known Suh since college. His mother, his father, his sister. He isn't the guy that people think he is. We'll give you the shirt off his back. He and I come to my charity events every year and looked out for me.
Okay. Good.
Again, thanks,
I got it. But the video doesn't say that to me.
Well,
right?
Skip, but if you think about it, normally if somebody pokes you in the eye, you're not going to just turn and walk away like Fitz did. Fitz just turns and walks away.
That's just Suh, right? I guess so. But it's the equivalent of if one of your close friends walked up and punched you in the jaw and said, I'm just clowning around. You wouldn't think it was real funny, right?
No.
I mean, again.
I give you a prime example. Look at the reaction that Josh Norman had when Taylor Lewan, all he did was do Josh Norman's celebration in front of him.
He did.
And look how he reacted.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to believe that if Ndamukong Suh was serious and Larry and Fitz thought he was serious, he would have had a stronger or a more harsh reaction than what he displayed, because he just turns and walks away.
Well, you got to really know somebody and really love somebody to accept that, right?
Yeah, but Skip, as friends, we know how we play with each other. And like, Skip, look, when I was in the locker room, Skip, there are certain guys I like our 5 guys. And so we go to training camp, Skip. You know what we do? We know where the guys sit. I go and screw all the salt, all the pepper shaker. Because I want them to screw all the pepper, salt, in their food.
That's
or
fine.
we would do things.
It's different then.
Eggs. Yeah, that's
Right?
poking in the eye.
Skip, look, it's hard for me to believe. I mean, you saw the reaction Fitz had.
I love you, Shannon. I'm going to poke you in the eye.
No. But that's the extent of their relationship, their friendship.
Okay.
We used to steal cars, Skip. I might steal my buddy's car, drive it up, leave the lights on, the car running for like 3 hours, so when he gets it, the battery dead.
Now that to me is not funny.
That ain't funny, Skip.
That's cruel.
Yeah.
What about if I just take your jeans and put them in the cold tub
That's
and then
fine.
put them in the freezer?
That's all
and
right.
then you have frozen jeans when you get out. You say you want to press jeans, start.
Okay, that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. Every once in a while. I wouldn't want it every day, but
No, we had to do something every day.
Okay.
Okay, what if I made you late for practice by nailing your locker shut and you couldn't get your shoulder pads out?
That's not funny.
What happened?
Don't do that.
I don't
to
know
my
what
testing
happens. Hey,
reference.
Skip, he late.
yeah. Hey, well, all I know is Larry Fitz saved Sue from another suspension because if the league office just saw that, they'd say, "What?"
I'm sure they reached out to Fitz.
Well,
Or
hey,
Fitz reached out to them
Maybe.
because he's a Skip. Well, you know Fitz. You've been around him. He's class personified.
The all-timer.
He's as good as it
He
gets.
is,
We
as
got
good
in
as
this
it
league.
gets.
will you tell Larry thanks for watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Thank
that. I
you,
like
Larry.
this text. Is Derrick Rose looking like an all-star again? It's been fun to see. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
It's time for our final topic of the day. Derrick Rose got a hero's welcome and even heard MVP chants in Chicago last night. He scored 24 points in the city where Rose spent 8 seasons and won an MVP award. Rose is having a great season, averaging nearly 19 points per game. Shannon, how impressive has he been?
Skip, this has been really impressive, and I'm glad to see the resurgence because those injuries robbed him of a promising career. Skip, when he came into the league, he was the most athletic point guard we'd ever seen. He was a
agree.
point guard that could play above the rim.
Yep.
And then, Russ comes along and does what he does, but people forget just how athletic this young man was. What we're seeing now, Skip, gives you a glimpse of why he's the youngest MVP in NBA history because he's 25 and 8. I think he was, 21 years of age. He was special. He was special, and then the knee injury, and then what came along with that, and then
Yep.
the ankle injuries. And then in Cleveland, Skip, they shipped him to Utah with that trade, and they just waived him.
Waved him.
And he found a home back with
his
Tibbs,
old coach,
and
yep.
he's unbelievable.
He is making 46% of his three-point shots. I thought that would be impossible because the best he ever shot was 34%. And yet, he's not even a starter for this team. He comes off the bench because Teague's the point guard,
Right.
obviously. So all this said, all that he's done for this team, they're still 16 and 18, and
Right.
they're in 13th
Yeah.
spot in the West. And I don't get that because your team has more firepower than that.
Yes.
With him coming off the bench playing that way,
Right.
you should be way better than this, and maybe they'll take off.
And
hope they
he
do.
says he wants to win most improved. Well, he's well on his way,
Boy.
and he's going to get strong consideration for sixth man
Will.
of the year.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.